Oh
25
yeah.
years of EverQuest, and nobody else has been daring enough to be blasphemous enough to take this name on multiple servers.
I
But
don't think
I
anyone.
came along.
I don't think anyone thought about it.
The entire the entire society that plays EverQuest is probably incredibly and totally made up of nothing but uh, Mormons and JWs, and they're all pretending not to be. So no one would take that name.
I'm gonna guess. If I had to guess, I would say Will is eating, and so they have their microphone muted while they're eating.
Testing. Why is it? Seems like it's really.
Just another stalling tech.
Are you guys hearing like noise from my headset?
No.
I always hear noise from your headset.
Sigh.
Even when I'm asleep, that's all I hear. Everything is just the noise from your headset.
Oh, okay. I think it's just because I had it turned all the way up. Because it was a new audio source. Okay. I think we're good.
Ah, welcome to EverQuest. It's not working.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get logged on.
All right.
All right, where in Crescent Reach are you? Just out of curiosity.
I was at just the start, but I logged out. I'm gonna go because I want to be able to see the
Gotcha.
character select screen as I walk them through it because I don't have it memorized.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's not that these things are going to be difficult per se, but like I don't want to just be like, yeah, it's just character select, you can figure it out, and then they start in the tutorial or they pick the wrong deity in our KOS or something. You know, there's just so many little things that can go wrong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've got EverQuest working on my stream. Basically, I have to share my whole screen. Like, that's the only way that you can do it. You can't, like, just share the game. But that works. It's fine. I'm full screen most of the time anyway.
Well, I'm remaking my character.
Did you do tutorial?
No, they have ugly hair.
Oh, you can just change your face. Oh, now Will's deafened. Oh, no longer deafened.
Well, you know what? That's a really good point. I was forgetting that I could actually do that. I was thinking that was a later expansion because I keep forgetting I'm not on TLP.
Even the TLP, you can change your face. Most of the
really
quality.
It's the slash command doesn't work for it then.
Oh yeah, and die doesn't work. Most of the quality of life changes are still in. It's just the mechanic stuff.
Watch stream. Okay, I'm putting your stream on for now, so everyone can see your live stream, Jake.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, what server am I logged on to? Strom or whatever?
I think it's Luceland Strom, but Luceland's the main part.
Hello, Willow. Are you ready for your first EverQuest experience?
Oh boy, I guess I am ready.
It's not as bad as it sounds.
Way worse.
Have you had your headphones on or
have you heard anything?
It's kind of hard to explain.
You don't have to explain. But just have you heard what I was like talking about? I wasn't talking to you. I was just talking about you.
Not particularly, no, because I was still messing with it and sound kept cutting out.
No big deal. I was just curious. I didn't want to repeat myself, and then you're like, "Yeah, I already heard you say all that." And I'm like, "Oh well, shit."
Are you? You might
yeah,
want
I
to have
probably haven't heard you.
You might want to have them stream their screen. That way you can see what they're seeing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk them through from my screen, and if it gets to a point where we need to, then we can. But I don't think that'll be necessary, at least at the beginning.
Let me say two things real quick, and then I'm just going to watch your screen and go get my food. But just a couple things. One, so since we're already planning everything they're going to do, assuming they keep playing,
Okay.
I thought that a cool idea would be like definitely druid first, right? But then use their druid to power level a mage, probably for you, Jake, for like camping purposes. Maybe me and Zach make necros or something like that, like
Mhm.
for Uber camping, and then power level your mage up. Then they could start a second character, and we can power level with our mage, enchanter, cleric, and you know what would be really cool actually is a rogue because that's the only role we don't have. And druids are cool, but at high levels, like if we're going to Plane of Hate or the Hole, like it would be really useful to have a sneak hide lockpick pick character, and they like rogues. So if they keep liking the game, then we could use the mage, chanter, cleric to power level a rogue, and if they don't, then I'm gonna just box a rogue.
Rogue is the
Rip.
most useless class in the game. Bard has all of the same capabilities of Rogue and like a million other utilities. There is no reason for anyone ever to make a Rogue,
Are you?
unless you're
But
even
lockpick.
lockpicked. Rogue Bards get lockpick.
Well,
Bards can lockpick exactly the same as Rogues.
debatable. Okay, the
Yeah.
other thing, you're probably right. I was just looking at high level zone guides, and it's like, oh, how you have a rogue and a monk do the pulling, and I'm like, oh shit, we don't have a rogue, so maybe not, or maybe they play a bard. Anyway,
Do-
what was the other thing? Oh, what?
The only,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
the only difference between Bard and Rogue is Rogue gets higher lockpick skill, and you can lockpick pretty much anything with the Bard in Classic and Kunark with like one or two uh, ability modifiers.
Joey's on. I didn't realize that.
There-
That's awesome.
I lockpick
Hello.
Chardock with my Bard.
Yeah, yeah. There's like 3 zones where you actually need to lockpick, and Bard can do all of them. Now, I will say Rogue does have the permanent hide sneak going for them, so that's nice. Like for Chardock, if you want to get in there, but for that, you just want to have faction anyway. Pretty much, Chardock and Sebulus Crypt. Those are the only 2 zones you ever need to lockpick in, and a Bard can do both of them just fine. Rogue has hide sneak and melee attack. They're really good damage, but so is Bard, and Bard also has all the Bard stuff. So, I mean, more than welcome to make a Rogue, but it is significantly less useful than Bard, so I would not encourage that or give any weight to it other than for funsies.
Bard also has Hide as a Wood Elf.
Yeah. And Invis Song, and Lev
Invis
Song, and Travel Song, and Mana Song,
Mana song.
Mez Song.
Song?
Like the only thing you don't have is Hide Sneak combo.
So,
If they end up really liking it and want to go hardcore, I could see them being a bard. Okay, just
Absolutely.
one more quick question.
Totally.
What
Yep.
race classes are we making so that
Wood
I
elves.
can do that in the back? We're all making wood elves?
I am playing a High Elf Paladin. Will, I believe, is going to be a Wood Elf Druid. Is that correct, Will?
Yep.
And everyone else doesn't matter. Probably you want to be a good race, so you can do stuff in Kelvin
Whoa.
where we're going.
How,
That's
But other than
racist.
how do we
that,
how do we not do in Crescent Reach, or do you do? Oh,
you don't.
you
We're gonna
uncheck
start-
tutorial. Okay,
We're
okay.
gonna start in Crescent Reach. Nope, unchecked tutorial just makes you not start in the tutorial. You can not start not in Crescent Reach. So we're gonna start in Crescent Reach. I'm gonna walk them through the basics there because there's level 1 mobs walking around and you don't need anything special. And then I'm going to teach them how to travel because we're gonna have to run through the bog place into Plane of Knowledge and then through Jife. And then we're gonna bind in Jife so they can learn Soul Binders. And then we can go do Core Kill. But we're probably going to kill some trash in Jife. So, yes, we're starting in Crescent Reach. Doesn't matter. Honestly, doesn't matter what race you are. You can be Ixards for all I care because you're not going to the city. But we are going to have a tank healer. Nick, you said you were going to make an enchanter, and I told Zach a mage is probably good because they just do a lot of damage. But we're not like these aren't like it's not like we're going to be playing these characters. It's just for tutorial purposes. Which, speaking of tutorial, once you're in the game and you get to server select, Let me know, Will, and we can start from there.
Oh, I already am.
What
Oh, cool.
stats do I do as an enchanter? Because it's got me splitting charisma and
Default.
intelligence.
Max int.
Okay, max int and then charisma.
For the real game, there's slightly other things you can do. Charisma's useless, and int will get capped eventually, so you probably want to go stamina in the real game, but just int for now. So we'll select the Luceland-Strom server and just click join server.
Luceland dash what?
I think it's Luceland-Strom. It's in the chat.
Yeah, it's near the
Luceland
bottom
See it.
of the strong.
Other people pronounce it Lucklin, by the way. That is incorrect. It is Luceland.
Well, thanks. I need to go back and tell Rudy and all of them to stop saying it that way so that I won't get it stuck in my head that way.
My guild said Lucklin, and I got it stuck in my head, and I immediately went back as soon as I wasn't in that guild anymore. It is, and always will be Luceland. Soft S, soft C. Once you are finished logging in, it'll be a blank, like, little foresty area. Let me know once you're there. I mean, you can create
Alright.
character. So once you're in the create character screen where you've got like all the options, let me know. That's the important part where there's like a bunch of shit going on. You could stream, but it's like maybe to help set up your UI, but we can always mess with that later. That's not going to be important for this, which you will want to set it up later, but for now it's okay.
Okay, I'm on the screen pretty much you're at. Character
Oh, yeah.
selection, but I
Okay.
still need to make one.
So on the left is all the races. The ones towards the bottom mostly are the ones that aren't in the game. So frogs, lizards, and draken, and cats. Basically, none of the furries are in the game. A furry must have joined the team in early 2000 and started making all the furry races. So Wood Elf is the second from the left on the bottom. You could also be a half elf if you want, but they're not as good druids because of their stats. Also, Wood Elves are just cooler in general. So you select Wood Elf. You can pick male or female. You can customize your face with the appearance on the right side, the appearance button. So you can mess around with that if you want to. But make sure you pick Wood Elf and Druid, because once you... Oh, never mind. You can change class. If you change race, it resets your appearance, though. So make sure you're on Wood Elf. And then let me know once you're done with your appearance, and I'll walk you through the rest. The rest of it's not that difficult, but there's some important stuff to know.
Okay.
All right.
Let me know.
You can also customize all that stuff later, so it's not like permanent or anything. So you're gonna do advanced. If you're on my stream, you can see it. It pops up a little window that says points left and a bunch of stats. It automatically pre-assigns stats for you, which are probably fine, but when the real game comes, these are permanent choices you can't ever change. So it's important to have good stats, because certain stats are capped. Some stats are easier or harder to get. So depending on your race class, there's certain ones you want to prioritize that may not line up with what the game suggests for you. In this case, I think the defaults are fine. If you left click on points left, it resets it to 30. You want to put the only two stats that matter for a druid are wisdom, which is your mana pool, and stamina, which is your HP pool. None of the other stats matter. Strength is how much you can carry, but that's not a problem. The other stats are all defensive stats that don't actually do anything unless you're a tank. So you right click on the wisdom bar and it'll instantly put as many points as possible. You have 5 points left after that, which you just want to put into stamina. That is, I believe, the default allocation for druid. But I just wanted to walk you through that. So if you want to make a character later, you understand, like, you can customize those, and it does matter because the defaults sometimes suck.
Alright.
Alright, so as long as you've got Wood Elf and Druid checked, the only other thing is make sure the box that says tutorial is not lit up. Make sure it is unselected, because it'll pop you into a shitty tutorial zone that's awful and tedious.
Where is that?
It's on the right next to appearance and advanced.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that's what I've made so many characters I just forgot to uncheck that stupid box, and it loads a whole zone and stuff. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
Rip.
So in depending on your race and class, you can pick a deity, which is like the god. Um, most races classes force you into one or two. Druid, for example, you have to be Tunair, Wood Elf Druid. For certain races, or for certain classes, Bard, for example, agnostic is usually the best, which means you don't worship any god, which means people don't hate you for your religion. But it varies between race and class. So whenever you go to make a character, you just consult us, and we'll make sure to tell you which deity is the best one.
If I play, if I pick a god as a chanter, am I fucking myself up? Do I
Yes,
have?
absolutely, you are.
Okay.
You are not going to be an enchanter if you don't. If you, we had no, I mean you can. I'm just saying you won't be an enchanter. You'll be like, I don't know,
It's
some
that
shitty.
bad, yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be upping your difficulty level significantly.
Yeah, like any quest in the game where it's like, oh yeah, Druid, you can do this. Oh wait, you picked Bertoxilus. Oh, sorry, you can't do this quest, this quest, this quest. So
God.
yeah, yeah. You can go in any city as an enchanter if you're agnostic, but just with an illusion, including Kabbalist. If you pick any deity, someone will hate you.
Rip.
So anyway, the only last thing is your city. Again, in the live game, usually not something you choose unless you're a select few specific races. If you don't have a paid account and you're playing on the live servers, you have to start in the city that's like 8 expansions in, and they force you to start there. So this area we're going to start in is not a place you will ever see again, but it's just a starting zone, so it doesn't matter. So that's all you have to do for character select. So go ahead and pick a name and create the character, and your name will probably be taken, so you're probably gonna have to pick a couple different ones. Lizard will hopefully be available on live if you get in soon enough, and I think that's hilarious that your name is one that people probably want to pick for Ixars, but your character it's not possible for you to be an Ixar. So you'll be walking around with the name Lizard on a druid who could never be an Ixar, and you'll see like a monk and Necro, and they'll be like, "You son of a bitch." All right. So when you start in, you should pop up here, and we're watching for you.
I'm logging into.
Okay. I guess we can all go ahead and.
Hi, my name is Taffy Dragon, but the G in Dragon is replaced with a K.
Taffy Draken.
Taffy
Hey,
Dragon.
That works because so this is the starting city of the newest race, which is called Draken.
What?
Yeah.
You're a fucking asshole, Nick.
What else? What other name am I gonna pick?
Jacina?
Holy
never
shit,
playing on
there's
this server
so much
again.
going on.
But
on the
Jacine is a
screen.
priest name. Jessiny is a druid name. I
Okay,
mean,
so-
Jess name.
So you have a bunch of shit on your screen, probably.
Yeah.
The giant one in the middle, you can close. It's like, welcome to EverQuest. Buy our game or whatever. You can close that one. If you'd like to share your screen with me, I can walk you through the stuff. You will eventually customize all of your stuff, and you'll save the layout so you don't have to screw around with it. And the default layout is garbage, so don't worry too much about how awful it looks. Let's see. Okay. That window that popped up, you can close that. That is what you would use to load your layout from another character.
Okay.
So every time you log in, it looks like that. It's the X on the top right. There you go. That works too. Okay. So let's see. Again, you're going to customize all this. You can kind of move it around if you want to make some space. The bars on the left, lower left, are your hot bars. You realistically only need 1 or 2 at most, and you can close the bottom 2. Those ones you have to right click and do close. So go ahead and close those. You have to right click the rim around it. Like aim, yeah. The UI is awful. And then mouse over window at the top, and then close at the bottom.
Oh my god.
See, that's why it's like I can't just be like, yeah, just close the windows, set up your UI. So you can see how mine is set up, but everyone has their own preferences, so you'll figure it out as we go. It's something you'll be constantly doing for the first month or so, just rearranging stuff how you like it.
The nice thing is you can copy it though. So
Yes.
anything that you do now, when you log on your new character,
Yep.
you can say copy UI, And it'll copy
Well,
everything that you set up now.
Yeah, so over time you will want to try and customize it as best you can. So when we actually go to start playing, you'll have it already. But yeah, the thing on the right, that's just tips. Go ahead and just close it. You don't need any of the tips. They're all dumb. Okay. The thing in the center where it says emissary Tessivir or whatever, Tin Bin, that's your target. That's the target. That's the person you're targeting. If you click the dude in front of you, that's me, Maximuse. You click me and it changes to him. So that is how everything in the game works. Whatever you're targeting, that's what you're attacking. That's what you're spell casting. If you hit escape, it gets rid of your target. And then there's other ways to target. For enemies, you can do tab. Tab will target the closest enemy. I want to make sure that works on you though. Okay, so he's the closest. If you hit tilde, the one right above tab, it cycles through the enemies in range. So hit tilde, make sure that works. You might have to rebind it. Is it doing anything?
oh my god.
Okay, so you just clicked on him with an item. The game, this version starts you with a little helmet, a little hat. It's in your inventory on the third slot there. You can equip that. If you click on it, it'll pick it up on your cursor. So those are your spells. Your inventory is the big window you have open. I think I have mine bound to
This?
C. I don't know what yours is. Yeah, you see that little green hat in the sidebar on the right, lower right of it?
This one?
Yeah, so that's your inventory. You have 10 slots in this version. In the real game, there's only going to be 8 slots. So that's a hat. If you pick it up, you have it on your cursor. If you click on a player or on an NPC, it will open a trade window. In fact, click on me with that hat in your hand. So it's going to tell you an error when you click. It says you cannot trade it because it is no trade. So items that are marked no trade, you can't give to other people. So you have to be careful when picking stuff up, because if it's untradeable, you'll be like, oh, I got this cool weapon. Oh, I should have looted that, because now you can't give it to me. It's permanently on you. But you can give no trade items to NPCs. In fact, you have to for most of your quests. So if you take that note in your inventory, that little scroll, pick it up and click on that guy. And then you click on give and it'll give them to him. This is how you complete quests. You pick up an item and you give it to an NPC and they will take it. However, this is the wrong NPC for that quest. So you got it back on your cursor and he said, I don't have any need for this. Put it back in your inventory by clicking one of the slots, or if you click on that staff, the little spinny staff, it'll automatically equip or put in your inventory whatever item is on your cursor. Try to equip that hat that you have. Yep, so you can click the slot, or if you just click the center thing, it'll auto inventory it without you having to like drag it to the slot. If you have something equipped already, it won't do that. But if you can equip it and the slot is open, it'll equip it. So you can scroll out with the scroll wheel and you'll be able to see it.
And that staff is your druid icon. Whatever class you are, you have your class icon there.
Yes, yeah, that changes for your class. Is your scroll wheel? Are you able to scroll out? There you go. So for most of the time, it's probably best to play in third person because you get a bigger, you can see more, you can see behind you, you can see what's happening to your character. However, if you're swimming in the water, or climbing a ladder, the last way you were looking in first person mode determines which direction you move. So if you look straight down in first person and zoom out, doesn't matter which way you're looking, you will swim straight down in the water. So keep that in mind when you're swimming or climbing a ladder. You have to, go to the water actually and go see how that works. Go practice swimming, because that will happen sometimes where you'll have to swim. Not very often, but so if the further up you're looking, you're gonna move slower. But also swimming is just super slow. So
But
if you always want to make sure you're looking.
Looking does not do anything when you're in third person. You have to switch to first person to change your look.
Yeah, that's what I'm
view.
saying. Yeah, so scroll all the
this
way in, and then you can like go swim down.
It's actually a first-person game. They just added the third-person scroll out as like a patch later. So always keep in mind which way you're facing in first person.
Important note, since you're underwater, yeah, that's exactly what I was just teaching. In the top left where it says air remaining, that is your breath bar, you can click and drag that. I would recommend moving that to the center of your screen. It only shows up while you're underwater, though. Oh, you got it. You got an item. So air remaining resets when you come out of the water. Just always keep an eye on it because drowning hurts really bad and you will die pretty quick. If you are, let's see. Yeah, so you're moving around. That's great. You can move with WASD, but really you always want to use the right click to the right click. Oh, good. That was the thing I wasn't sure if you were going to be able to figure out. I don't know how many games use that, but right click moves the camera. Left click moves the camera, but doesn't change the direction of your character. So if you're like running somewhere and you need to look behind you, you can keep running the direction you are and use left click just to scroll the camera. So that's important to know too. You see those? Oh, you're back there. Here, do this first. Target me. I'm Maximuse. I'm a high elf, by the way. That's what high elves look like. Okay, with me targeted. Do you see that bar on the right with the little heart on it? Kind of like the lower right.
No.
So lower right of the screen, and then left a little bit, and then up, and it's that long vertical bar with the circles in it.
Here?
Yes. Sorry, I can't see your cursor, but I can see when it highlights. That is your spell bar. Those are the spells you have memorized. So it's like in D&D where you have spells you know, and then spells you have to have prepared. Right-clicking forgets it. It deletes it from the bar. You have to re-memorize it in order to be able to cast it. But if you click that spell with me targeted, you'll cast a heal on me. Go ahead and do that. So did you see the bar? It was in the very top left. You couldn't really see it. Cast it again, and then try and grab the bar real quick and move it to the center. It's hard to move and get set up, but you want it in the middle just so you can always see where it is. So do it one more time, and then you're going to be out of mana. You might be out of mana now, actually.
I think I am.
So you are getting a warning that says you're out of mana, but you're not seeing it. In the chat window at the bottom, do you see how there's a combat tab that's lit up red? That has all your combat information. The chat system is very old and very bad and very convoluted, and there's a bunch of different like categories for stuff. You'll probably want to end up setting up 2 or 3 different chat windows that have different messages, because every single thing in the game that you get a message for will go straight to that window. And see, like all those skin burns. There's a bunch of spammy stuff that'll just ruin your chat. So we'll talk about that later, and we'll get that set up to configure in a decent way. But for now, you can leave the main chat open because that's where you'll see stuff like say chat and group chat. The other thing for doing quests is the way that you start quests, end quests, communicate with NPCs is by actually talking to them by typing. If you hit the slash key or the apostrophe key, you'll start typing. Slash is going to be a command. You guess you can also hit enter. Slash is a command, so it won't actually say anything, but that's how you do commands like slash dance or slash follow or something like that. That's an apostrophe. Oh, that was a slash. Sorry, I'm not zoomed in. There's a bunch of funny emotes like slash freak makes you freak out. Slash fight makes it look like you and the target are fighting each other. Slash faint makes you look like you died. So there's a lot of funny emotes that are fun to do. So you'll notice you can't move. That's something to do with the monk class. I won't get into that right now, but when you're fainted, you can't move. You have to sit to stand up. Does anyone know what the default is? Is it Control S for sit?
I believe so. That's what I use.
Hit Control S. You'll want to rebind that later because Control S is super inconvenient. I have mine down to X. Sit is a very common thing you do because in order to regenerate mana, you have to be sitting. You will regenerate 1 mana every 6 seconds when you're not sitting. And when you're sitting at level 1, you'll regenerate 5 mana, and that goes up with level. So that's called meditating. So we say med. So, I need to med for a bit. That means I'm low mana and I need to sit down doing nothing but regenerating mana. You're actually at full mana already just because you have so little mana. But at higher levels, you'll have several hundred and you only regenerate like 10 every 6 seconds. Especially as a healer, you want to keep your mana as high as possible. I think you might have unmemorized a spell on accident earlier.
Yeah, I did.
Does anyone know what the spellbook default is? Mine's K. Does K work? Try hitting K.
Control B.
Control B. Okay, so do Control B. You can also click that spellbook icon at the bottom of the bar. This is your spellbook. This is all of the spells you have memorized, that you have known, but you can only have 8 memorized at a time. So that first one, Skin Like Wood, that's your buff spell. So click that one and then click any of the slots on your spell bar and that'll memorize it. Not that, that's your hot bar. You actually have to click your spell bar to memorize it. You can, as it's on the bar, you can hit the key that's on your hot bar. So 3 will cast Skin Like Wood and 4 will cast the heal. You have to have a target for it. You can cast it on yourself or on someone else. And you can also, the shortcut for spells is Alt and a number. So if you don't have them bound to a hotkey, you can always just do Alt and then the number. That's your buff. In the very top right, you see that little window where it has a little shield and then a timer on it?
Yep.
So those are your buffs, and they have the duration on them. Be very careful not to click them, because without a warning, you will remove that buff from yourself. So if someone casts a really strong buff on you and you click it, it just goes away. But those are, yeah. Cast it on me, and then you can see where you can actually see buffs on an ally too. That's going to be one of your main jobs when we're like actually playing, is keeping us buffed. Oh, your spell just fizzled. So if you don't have enough skill in the spell or you're low level, a fizzle will basically make the spell not go off, and you lose a little tiny bit of mana. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. So
I see.
if you try to cast a
Boy,
spell,
does that add up at high levels.
oh, it really does. If you try to, it doesn't happen a lot at high level, thankfully. But if you're trying to cast a spell and it's not working, it's probably fizzling. So you have to cast, there's different magic schools, and you have to cast them to rank up. And if you don't rank up a school for a long time and try to cast a higher level spell, you're going to fizzle a lot. But you see in the target window how I have that little shield in my window now?
Yep.
That's how you check if someone else has a buff. So like when you're trying to keep buffs on us as a party, you can click on us and it'll show you the buffs we have, and you'll go, oops, my spell wore off of them, let me cast it again. There's also other ways to tell. You'll get a notification when a spell wears off. We'll set you up with Gina, which is going to be like a notification thing that'll pop up on your screen and say, or we'll just say, hey, I need another buff. You forget, it wore off. So that's pretty much the basics. Let me check I wasn't using my list. Let me check here. Tab
If
targeting.
you ever find yourself holding down the WASD keys and you're not going anywhere, you might have enter accidentally left the thing open, and you will sit there just filling up your chat bar with WAS and D, not going anywhere, not realizing that's why.
That goes for any ability. Your spells aren't casting, your ability's not going off. You'll see in the chat bar, it'll say A 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So that's pretty much it for the basics. One other way to target something is if you click someone. So have me targeted and type, which you can make a hot button for this, but you'll get used to just typing it real quick. Type /assist. That's another command. You will target what I'm targeting. It will also by default turn auto attack on. So you do have to be careful you don't punch something that you're not intending to punch. Do you see your name on the right where it's flashing?
Yeah.
That means you're attacking. So you are currently trying to attack whatever you're targeting and looking at. So if you're like next to a monster and you're targeting it and your auto attack is on, you'll just start punching it. That's how you fight, is auto attack. You don't have to like use abilities or anything. You just turn attack on and you start hitting stuff. You can't attack players. You can't attack certain NPCs. Some NPCs you can attack, even allied ones, even high level ones in cities. In fact, the way that you start the game on the live server is going to be to punch a guard and instantly die, because you respawn in the low level area where you can just start from instead of having to navigate out of the city. If you will follow me, which you can also click me and type /follow if you want to practice that, because that'll be useful for later. I now control where you move, but it is it's a very bad, very old system, so you have to be really careful using it around anything dangerous, because your character is just going to auto find a path straight to me, and if anything happens, you just stop moving or fall in the death pit.
You should push. You should push
What?
1 to turn your
What is the
auto
death
attack
pit?
off.
Oh yeah, and then what did you say, Will?
Any big pit is a death pit.
What is the death pit?
Oh, just like, if we're walking past lava or past a really far fall or through a
The
camp
hole.
forest or
Okay.
something, anywhere where it could be dangerous that you could fall, I would just call a death pit. Just you don't want to just rely on auto follow because it's not smart at all. It's literally just mindless, moves you towards the person in a straight line. But we can
When
mostly
you
be relied
use
on.
it literally says it will cause you
Yeah.
to fall into bad areas.
But
It literally
it-
warns you how dangerous it
yeah,
is.
exactly. It's got like a full page message warning. But see how you're both following me perfectly. So this is great for like if you're trying to stick together. Oh, is Nick gonna follow me too? If you're trying to stick together in an area, you just have everyone auto follow one person and you perfectly cluster up. That's how people who bought and use like a bunch of boxes and stuff is they just auto follow 10 characters on one person and then they don't have to actually do anything.
Funny.
So I'm gonna bring you out here and we're gonna kill
going on a trip.
in our favorite rocket ship. Do you see these
I
little
hate you
guys
all.
here? The bunnies and the
Oh
snakes?
my
We're gonna
yes.
murder some of them.
god. No.
So this one here, if you click on it, you see how it's white in your target window? That means
Yeah.
it is the same level as you. It means you are identical level. Hit V on your keyboard, and you're actually going to get a chat message. Oh, sorry, not V. C? Is it C? Oh, you have to switch to the main chat tab. Oh, and it's not the command. Okay, the command actually does work, but it's a hotkey. See, do you see how it says regards you indifferently? Looks like an even fight, and then a level.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some information in there. See, these are the things we just assume that people know, right? Looks like an even fight, tells you that it's the same level as you, but in the modern game, including on our new server we're going to be playing on, it just straight up tells you the level. So you can tell exactly what level an NPC is by checking that. There's certain times that's important because the consider color, which is white, it will also tell you if it's above you or below you, and it'll be different colors depending on how far. But the most reliable is just to consider it and get the exact level. So if you see something that's red means it is 3 or more higher levels higher than you and will probably kill you.
Okay.
But as a group, we can kill reds, but not high reds. Like if we're level 1, we can't take a level 50 red, but we can take a level 4 red,
Yeah.
So we have to know exactly what level things are, so keep that in mind. But we can go ahead and kill this guy. So walk up to it and turn auto attack on. The default is you have it hotkeyed to 1, but there is a default like macro. You probably want 1 to be a spell for later on.
Holy shit!
but
I'm
yeah,
beating up a snake.
You're beating it, so you're just gonna keep punching it until one of you dies. If you notice your HP is not exactly stable, you're taking some damage. You also have to stay facing it, so make sure you're always facing it.
You know they're not in a group,
and then
right?
it dies. Okay. What?
They're not in the group.
No, they'll get more XP solo.
Okay.
So this window that pops up, this is the loot window. You don't have to actually click corpses to loot things like you used to. This is an important window though. The green button will instantly loot the item. Leave will leave it on the corpse and anyone else can go and pick it up. That checkbox that says AN, that means always roll need for it. You know need and greed rolls, right, from games you played? Like
Yeah,
loot
I
rolls.
think so.
Okay, that's what that is. So it's gonna, if you're in a group, and I'll show you that in a second, if you're in a group, items will automatically roll, and then you check those boxes whether you want to need it or greed it, and you can always check a box to always need or greed for something like, a gemstone or something like that. You want to just always need roll that one. That people in this game, they just always need. That's the standard, so no one screws anyone over. You just roll always need on everything that you want, and then whoever wins it wins it. So it does warn you. See how it says it's a no trade item? Once you click yes, so like if someone else needed that item and you don't need it because it's useless to your character, you want to be very careful not to loot stuff that you don't need, because you can never, someone else can never get it but get it back from you. There's ways around that, but what?
Like actual loot, the trash loot and stuff. I mean, you're going to be able to trade it. It's a special gear like that. You have to really.
If it pops up and says no drop, there are certain rare no drop items that may be useful to someone, so you do have to pay attention. But we'll probably let you know if something is crazy good and you need it. So go ahead and click loot on that one, or you can click leave on that one because it's no drop, so you don't need that one. But you got that egg, so you can put it in your inventory. It should have. I don't know why it went on your cursor. It usually just auto puts it in your inventory, but you got a snake egg.
Egg.
I'm going to invite you to the party. However, I think you probably need to reorganize your windows a little bit. Do you see on the far right where it says extended targets? Lower right.
Yeah.
That window is overlapping your group window, which is kind of underneath and above it. So you probably want to move it out just a little bit, in a way that works for you. You need to be able to click the buttons at the bottom of the group window is the main thing. Yeah, that works for now. Okay, so I'm gonna send you a group invite, and it'll pop up. They'll change from grayed out. You see how they changed from invite decline to follow, or to follow decline?
Yeah.
Follow will accept. So go ahead and click that, and then you're instantly in our group. Now you can see all of your party members' HPs and manas and pets. If they have a pet, you can see them. You can also target them by clicking their name in the window. That's the way that you play a buffer or healer. Is you don't target by clicking the person. You click their name in the window. So you can like cycle through us. You can't see our buffs directly, but you can target us to see our buffs. But that's how you're gonna see our HP drop, and you're gonna, oh no, and switch over and heal us. And if we kill something while you're in a party, you guys can help me kill this if you want. Stuff dies pretty quick at low levels, but at high levels it'll take a good 20 seconds per fight. So it died. The loot, it didn't have any loot though. Let's kill stuff till we get loot. This is basically how the start of the game is going to go. It's just going to be all of us. We're going to be running around bashing stuff until we start getting high level. Smash it.
I think the fluffy grove hairs are part of the anniversary event, and that might be why
They might not
they're
drop
not
any
dropping
loot.
loot, because
Yeah.
they only appeared like a week ago. Otherwise, it was just grove hairs.
Yeah.
And a message appears that says there seems to be more bunnies than usual.
Yeah. I thought maybe they might drop something, but oh, do you see how this
I don't-
mob chasing me? They don't really have a great like pathfinding logic, so they just kind of run after you. You can outrun them, but not at your default run speed. So watch me moving, right? Just real quick. See how I'm moving forward?
Yeah.
I'm moving at 30 velocity, which is the default. You can see that if you open your inventory and click on stats, just so you can see where it is. The second tab at the top, and then it's like 5 things down. You see velocity. It tells you how fast you're actually currently moving in the world. So run forward just for a minute and see how it says 30. Now, while you're running, hold right click and hold strafe too. So you're running forward and strafing. No, both, like forward and sideways. See how it changes to 33?
Yes.
Not backwards, it only works forwards. So you actually move faster because it adds your speeds together. So while you're strafing, not while you're running straight, but as long as you are moving both, holding both W and A or W and D at the same time, you move extra fast. That gives you basically a 10% boost that you can use to escape mobs that are like chasing you. So that will be very important when you're like getting chased by something that's going to kill you. You don't run straight, you don't strafe, you only run forward strafe, and you will be able to outrun anything as long as you don't turn or anything like that. Okay, I found something with loot. Notice how this window is different. You don't have an option to loot or leave. That is because the group leader gets that choice. You just get to select if this item goes to roll, what I get to do with it. The ND is need 1 time. GD is greed 1 time. NO is I don't want to roll on this 1 time. So the left is all individual 1 time. The right 3 are the ones you probably want to check mostly. AN is always need. That means anytime that item drops, you will always roll need on it, so you don't forget. So like if you're AFK, you'll automatically roll on it. AG is the same thing, but for greeting, again, we don't really use greed. I use greed if I'm like, I want something, but I don't really want it bad enough to roll for it. So if no one else gets it, I'll take it. NV is never. That's another useful one. So like those snake sacks, No one wants the snake stacks. You don't want to ever have to roll for that. So you just want to check NV on it.
Yeah,
we'll
basically
go
you
over.
can ignore greed, and it's basically either need or
Yep.
no. So it's
Yeah, you either exactly.
so the columns are need, greed, no, always need, always greed, always no, basically.
Yeah.
So don't even do the greed ones. Either say need if you want it or no if you don't. And
Yep.
if we're killing stuff over and over again, then you would either do always need or never, and that way you don't
Yep.
have to keep messing with it.
It's best to just always, because there's so many different items, it's best to just always either pick always need or always greed. There's no reason to do one or the other. Just you either always want an item or you never want an item, and you can change them later. So in this case, those items, if you hold Alt while you're mousing over that window, it'll show you the names of them, which is very important because icons look similar most of the time. Raw stiff hide. I'm not going to go over every single item. Raw stiff hide is used for research, but it's low level research, and those items are useless, and they don't sell for anything to vendors. So you can check never on that one. You just there's no reason for you to ever carry those items. And it automatically checks the one-time box too when you always. Snake eggs are used in cooking, and they are actually useful to players later on. I think they're like a couple platinum each or something. So you actually always want those. So check the AN box on that. And then Snake Fang is a vendorable item. You can just sell it to vendors for money. Not particularly useful, doesn't sell for a lot, but at low levels, every little bit counts. So go ahead and check AN for that. And then later on in the game, and more loot starts dropping. But see how all those little crappy things, they're already checked. But even if something isn't super important, you still want to grab it up just to sell it. If you're not sure about looting something, just roll for it because it might be good. So it's better to roll for it than not. Also, if you're not sure if you want an item, hold Alt and click on the picture. And that brings up I don't know what that second one is. It brings up an inspection window that gives you all of the stats of it. So if it's an equipment item, if it's a loot item, it tells you everything. You can't see the selling value until you actually go to sell it, which kind of sucks. But you can also look up. We just Googled the value of it. So that's how you inspect items. You can also hold right click and it'll pop up just for a second until you let go of right click. Oh, I guess they changed it because it's permanent now. It works for any item anywhere. In your inventory, in your backpack. Go ahead.
Do you mean did the window stay open for you when you right clicked on it?
If I have the loot window open and hold right click, it pops open an inspection window permanently. But if I do it from my inventory, it's only for a second. So.
Oh, if you hold the mouse button down while you're doing it, like in your inventory, hold it down for a second or two, and then move it around while still holding it, then it'll stay up.
Oh, okay, that's what I did. Thank you. You can also inspect spell gem the same way. So if you want to look at what one of your spells does, go over to it and hold Alt and click it, and it should pop open an inspect window. Yeah. So that tells you how much it costs, how long it takes to cast, what kind of target it is, its range, its duration, everything about it. That's very important. You'll want to use that a lot to check the stats on stuff. Same thing. You can also right click it, but right click quickly will unmemorize it. So you have to be careful about that. Alt click is usually the safer way to do that. So that's how you like inspect items and stuff. If you go to your inventory, you have an item in there that you will start with. Oh, escape will automatically close a window you have selected. So if you want to get rid of that window, you don't have to click the X, you just escape. Right click that top left item, the little brown bag. Right click. That's your backpack. It's a container that's in your main inventory. So you have your top level inventory and then bags. You can't put bags in bags if they have items in them, but you can put an empty bag in a bag. That's pretty much how your inventory. So your inventory is not going to be one big thing. It's going to be a bunch of little bags. You can move the bags individually around the screen. They don't follow each other. They're individual things. You can reshape them, resize them, position them, and the position is based on the slot the bag is in. So pick up that bag with left click and move it to a different slot, and you'll see that the window moves. Yep, left click the bag itself.
I am.
Oh.
For this.
Not in the bag. But, no, the one in your inventory. There you go. And then move it, and then right click it again. Okay, you probably have them all just. The default's probably just all in the same spot. But if you move that one way far, and then like click that window and put it anywhere and move the window. Yeah, move the backpack. Yeah, and then move it to another spot and open it, and it's it is a different spot. It's just not moving drastically enough for you to notice the difference.
Oh, I see.
Once you have a full inventory of bags, it's better to just have them all open at once because you can just arrange them that way. But yeah, that's just a kind of a side thing.
The UI.
So yeah, you got
The UI seems
You're good.
really horrible right now, and that
Awful.
is basically your biggest enemy. Once you get used to it, and once you arrange the windows and stuff, it's a lot simpler than it seems. And
Yeah.
and later on, one of us can help you. Like either I can sit with you, or we can do it more when we're not all on. To help you actually get like all your windows like set up with some suggestions on where you can put stuff. Because right now
Yep.
it's just a mess, and that's just how the game starts you.
Yeah, don't worry about how crappy the UI looks because it is going to be crappy, but you will be able to fix it in a way that's playable. I cannot play with the default UI. That's why I always play a month ahead of time to set up my UI so I have it ready.
A month?
I mean, like now, like we're playing right now, like I make sure my stuff is ready for game day because I don't want to be. You don't want to be sitting
Okay.
there messing with your UI on game day. You want to be able to load it from a previous save and go. So you got all your stuff pretty much set up how it needs to be. We've been killing stuff. So if you look at the left of your inventory, do you see where that yellow bar is?
Yeah.
That's your experience. It shows it in percent and in little bars. Each gold bar is 20%. Each blue bar is 5%. Because 5 into 20. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Something like that. It really doesn't matter
sounds
because
right.
you go by percent. But in the old days, there wasn't a percent, so you would say I have 4 yellows into level, or 4 yellows, 1 blue. Yeah, see, you're healing Zach. Nick.
Thank
keep him
you.
alive. It is pretty much going to be your main job when we're actually playing is healing us to keep us alive. So keep an eye on HPs, make sure that everyone stays buffed. But at low levels, you can also smack stuff because your low levels, everyone deals a lot of melee damage. But like around level 10, you stop dealing very much damage. You're about to level up, so let's finish that off and get you leveled.
I'll get ready for the sound effect.
Yeah, this is a sound effect you'll get Pavlov dogged into loving.
Yeah, it's the best sound effect in the
I
entire
accidentally
game.
closed out the inventory tab.
Oh, you don't need to see it for anything, but
I opens
I
and
think
closes
yeah,
it.
I is the default. I think we'll get
Thanks.
you rebound keys too because the default bindings suck.
Yeah, and usually you don't play with your inventory open, but
Right.
there it
There it
is.
Every time you level, you get that chang.
And people call it ding. So usually when you level, you'll say ding level
Ding.
2.
So that is a stat item. You will not see anything like that in the game that we play because all of the stat items in the game. If you get an item for a slot that gives you armor class, which is AC,
What the hell?
you are excited.
Yeah, you'll be up in your 20s rocking around in a fucking cloth choker with no extra stats, nothing.
Yep.
It just is there to hold the spot.
You've got to be
Yeah,
kidding me with this item here. This is so ridiculously powerful compared to Classic
Yeah.
Did you
EverQuest.
not hear what I said the other day about having better gear than loot?
Yep.
Oh, that's sad. This is like a drag and drop in Classic EverQuest.
Dude,
Yeah,
my
in
my
Classic, this would be
cleric
like
is-
the best item in the game.
yeah, the gear that like my cleric has right
I'm
now in her
needing it.
40s is just disgusting.
Real quick, not real quick, but do you see this mob here? Oh, sorry, you have that window open still. Yeah, quick close. If you just mash escape, you close all the unimportant windows. You can't accidentally close like a group window by hitting escape. You probably don't want to keep your inventory open because it takes up valuable real estate. Just have it ready to open when you need to check stuff. Do you notice this thing's HP bar is blue though? Did you see that?
Yes.
Okay, that means it is 1 to 2 levels below you, which means it gives you significantly less XP. You really want to kill stuff that's white or higher, but everything in this area is going to be blue now because they're all level 1s. So primarily we try to kill yellows because they give a lot of XP. Yellow is 1 to 2 levels above you. We can kill reds as long as they're not too high. So you want to let someone else usually determine if we can beat something. Some mobs are what's called underconned, which means they're much stronger than their consider level says. They just deal a lot more damage or have a lot more HP. Once you start getting even higher, light blue is below blue, green is below that, and gray means you won't get any experience at all because it's way too far below you. I don't remember the exact
Okay.
numbers, but you'll memorize those colors over
And
time.
the higher that you level, the less you can fight stuff at the same level. So when you're level
Yes.
1, you can kill whites easy. You know, up to level 10, if you see a blue, you can probably kill it solo. But if you're level 40 and you try to fight a blue mob solo, you are going to die unless you use the perfect tactics for your level.
Yeah, if you
My
know how to play,
God.
some classes can solo easier, so that's not necessarily true. But yes, monk, for example, in the full game, monk level 1, great, you kill whites. Monk level 2, cool, you kill whites. They're kind of hard, but mostly blues. Once you get level 3, you can't kill anything without dying, other than low levels. So it significantly gets slower. That's why playing as a group is good, because with everyone together, you kind of make up for each other's weaknesses.
Yeah, it is a
Um,
group-based game. It is
yeah,
intended to, they made it intentionally that you need groups in order to play. It just
yep,
so happens that there are some classes that figured out strategies to solo play at higher levels, but
yeah,
they wanted it to be a
that's
community
true.
game to force people to play together. And then there's also the raids where the monsters are so incredibly difficult that you
Mhm.
need 20 or 30 people to kill them.
Yeah, so it is a swarm game. It's not intended for solo play, but a lot of people do though still. All right, so um, that's most of the basics. You will notice in your hotbar you have an ability called Forage. Do you see that?
No.
Your hotbar is the bottom left, so those long bars with all the stuff in them.
All these. Yeah, I see
Yeah.
them.
That's
Okay,
all
so Forage, click.
customizable. So like
Yes.
they're just empty slots. They gave you some stuff there initially, but in the future, like you'll actually customize though to have them to have everything that you want.
Yeah, I usually put my actual spells in slots 1 to 8, so I don't have to hold Alt to cast a spell, because you cast spells all the time. But then you can also hotkey other things. So like, uh, uh, Q is a button that doesn't do anything in the actual game, so I always bind that to like an extra spell slot or something. Okay, so you clicked Forage. Did you get an item from that? Do you have an item on your cursor?
No.
Okay, so when you forage, you have a small chance to get a food item on your cursor, and then you have to put it in your inventory, and then you have to wait like what's the delay? It's like 2 minutes or something before you can do it again. You want to use that ability every chance you get. It's not key. It's not like, oh no, I forgot to forage. But because it's every 2 minutes, you want to constantly do it. There's a couple of items that you can get from foraging, which just sell for a lot of money over time. And there's also some quests you need to forage for. So anytime forage is up, it's not something you save for anything. You just always forage. I have a secret special sauce macro that I'll teach you later when you learn how to do that. That makes you not worry about that too much. But for now, just know that it's an ability. You use it, and you get a chance to get a little bit of food.
So the nice thing about
Um,
forage, because food actually matters in this game, because if you run out of food, you never want to do that. If you do, you stop regenerating health and mana, and basically
mhm,
makes the game unplayable. And so what a lot of people do is every few levels, they go to a vendor, buy a few stacks of bread, stick in their inventory, don't worry about it. Since you have forage, if you forage every single time it pops up, you will
mhm.
forage faster than you eat, and so over time, you'll actually amass a whole bunch of free food, and you don't have to worry about buying stuff from vendors. However, you still
Yep.
will, because, like Jake said, some of the items actually sell for money. You can sell it to cooks and stuff like that. So it's usually better to buy the bread anyway, but then forage, because like, oh look, I foraged rabbit meat. That's cool. Well, a stack of rabbit meat might sell for like 100 platinum. So
Yeah,
if you
because there's
save
so
it
hard to
up,
get.
if you save it up over, you know, hundreds and hundreds of forages, then next thing you know, you can go sell it for money.
Exactly.
Actually, the worst part about when you don't have food or water in your inventory is not that it stops your health and mana from regenerating. It's from every 12 seconds when it pops up in the bottom chat bar and says, you
Yep.
are out of food and hungry.
Yeah,
You are out
it
of drink
spams
and
you.
thirsty. You get really tired of that really
Yeah,
fucking fast. That is the main reason to keep food in your inventory.
literally. And it warns you when you're low too, which is annoying. The other thing is each food item, like if you click the snake eggs, alt click the snake eggs so you can inspect them. Those are actually food. And see how it says this is a snack at the bottom? There's different
Holy
tiers
shit.
of food. What?
Holy shit, it's a snack.
Snack.
You
Oh, it
can
also
eat
says it can
snake
use the
egg?
trade skills.
I think
What
that
a
high
snack.
elves are snacks.
Yeah, that's good.
Wow.
So it says this is a snack. That I think is the lowest possible tier of food. So it only sustains you for like 2 minutes.
Oh.
So really what you do is you go to a vendor and you buy a stack, which is 20. 20 is the biggest stack you could have in the original game. Nowadays, a lot of oh, you got rabbit meats. So you can click on your inventory. Usually you want to end up just clicking on your middle bar because you're going to have a lot of bags and stuff, and opening it up is tedious. So you just auto inventory it. So I mean, it's the same. I'm just for future. Most all items you forage are stacks and are not useful for really eating because they'll just be you're gonna get like 12 different items and you're gonna have like 3 or 4 of them, and it's just takes up unnecessary space. You get a stack of iron rations, they're a hearty meal and they're gonna last you for like 30 minutes each, so you're never really gonna have to buy more, and it only takes up 1 inventory slot. That's the main reason you don't just forage a bunch, but as you're foraging, it's good to have a spot for each item just so you're not, it just saves you effort. Right click that snake egg or the rabbit meat though to eat it, just so you can see how that works. Right click. So if you
Delicious.
if you left click an item, yeah, there you go. If you left click an item that's in a stack, it'll ask you how many you want to pick up. You can also do shift click to pick up all of the items in that slot, or control click to pick up just one of the items in that slot. Those are going to be very useful for like if you want to just give someone one item, control click will pick it up. Shift click will, and then left click will ask you how many you want to pick up. Right click consumes and uses items though, so be careful right clicking like food items in your inventory. If you're like, oh, I have this item, and then you right click it, you're going to instantly use it with no warning. So just got to be
Wow.
careful of that. There's other complicated stuff you can do, like you can force feed yourself food until you're ready to burst, which doesn't hurt you at all, but it just makes you not eat food for a while. So you can like force feed yourself a bunch of cheap food and then not worry about it.
Vor fetish.
Yeah, God.
Ew.
So let's see.
That'd be a
Forage.
great 4-letter name.
Try Vor. Yeah, I'm writing that down right now.
As an ogre.
I'm
As a troll, as a shaman.
Nah, yeah, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
I may get that name though as a Necro or a Shadow Knight if I would open Vor. That's
shaman,
amazing.
because of cannibalize.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Necro
Yeah.
kind of does the same thing, but Canny, yeah.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so, what did I have? Okay, try. I want to test something. Start casting a spell and then immediately sit down. See if that lets you do it.
Thought it was duck.
It's probably duck. I have
duck.
a special spell cancel key, which I'm gonna show them how to set up, to show key bindings too.
What's
Okay,
duck?
see how
I'm
it says
so
you.
glad I learned that about duck just now. Thank you guys.
I'll do you one better. And you guys follow along to this too.
Never seen me jumping in combat. That was me canceling a spell.
Oh my god. Okay, yes,
Ah.
everyone pay attention to this then and do it, because as a cleric and enchanter, you absolutely will need this. So you're sitting, you're meditating mana. You can't sit while you're casting a spell. So start casting a spell and then move a little bit while you're casting. Like just a little bit, just a couple steps. Yeah, that's good. So the spell didn't go off, and you got a warning message that said your skin like wood spell is interrupted. The more you move while you're casting a spell, the higher chance it is to get interrupted. If you move more than like 2 or 3 steps, it's almost guaranteed to be interrupted. So when you're casting a spell, you have to stand perfectly still. If you don't stand perfectly still, it might still go off, very, very unlikely for it to go off. So when you're like in a dungeon fighting, you want to stay completely stationary, sitting down, meditating, and then when you're ready to cast a spell, you cast it and immediately sit back down because you want to be constantly meditating. So
Yeah,
you're going to be sitting. That's the core gameplay.
if you even bump forward
Yeah.
or backward while you're casting, it is very likely it'll be interrupted, and you won't find out until the spell is over. So
Yep.
you'll cast a heal, and then you'll accidentally bump movement. And usually, what you should do then is duck
Yep.
and duck and unduck so that you
Just
can
instantly
cancel it and then recast it. Because otherwise, there's a chance that it will be interrupted, and then you have to start it again. You wasted time. So
Yep.
one tip to make sure that you're not moving is if you turn left or right by itself, it will actually stop you from moving forward. Like, so what you do is like you move
What?
forward and then you stop and then you can like turn left and right and you can make sure that you have no momentum.
Yeah, if you're still running, like if I'm running along, I stop running and I cast, it's going to get interrupted every time if I don't wait a second or two,
Oh, you're
which is
right.
why you'll see casters run, stop, and turn.
Yeah, I see. That's something that I'm glad you said because that's something I do inherently, but I don't think about it.
Yep.
And that's actually a really good point. Yeah, because the game tries to figure out how you're moving. If you are moving, if you're moving forward, like they said, it's not the turning that does it. It's just like the little bit of a delay of turning, and the game can recognize, okay, you're no longer moving because you stopped and turned. That's a really good point. That's one of those little things. However, this is very, very important. All of you pay attention and follow along, but I'm going to be watching Will's screen. Click at the very top of your window. There's a bunch of buttons. Those are mostly crappy setting buttons, open and close windows. You don't need most of them. The third from the left is the options button. Go ahead and click that to open the options window. It's also Alt-O or whatever. Bunch of options. We'll go through them later and tell you what you need to do. For now, click on keys, the fourth tab to the right. On select category, change it from movement to spellcasting. At the very bottom, there's a command that says stop casting a spell. Bind that to the same key as your sit is. So if it's Control S, bind it to Control S. It'll say there's a conflict, but it won't matter. It'll just try to do both at the same time. Now, try casting a spell on me and then hit Control S.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Yep. It will instantly stop casting the spell.
Oh my god.
Without sitting, without ducking, without doing anything extra, it just cancels it. And you share a keybind with sit. So if you try to sit down and you're casting a spell, you'll just cancel that spell and try to sit down. Now, it doesn't work at the same time. You won't cancel it and then immediately sit. You have to hit it twice.
That's better than duck standing.
Much better than duck, because for duck you have to duck and then stand again. So it limits it to one key press. You can cancel it instantly. Also, if you're like, I was gonna say if you're already ducking, but you can't cast spells while you're ducking. So yeah, so that's why I was like, I'm glad you guys are gonna find that out. I have my sit key bound to X. I don't believe X does anything in the game of any value. And I'm sure you play games where you rebind keys and stuff, but I recommend X for sit and cancel spellcast because it's right there, very accessible, and you will hit that key a lot as a spellcaster. You will always want to cancel spells because moving doesn't instantly cancel them. In World of Warcraft, you just step forward a little bit and it gets canceled. Here, you have to manually cancel it. So I would recommend both of those. Movement is under, or sit is going to be under commands. It's sit stand. You probably already found it. Yeah.
I moved my duck to Z because you do still need to duck sometimes, but it'll be rare if it's rare.
I don't even know what mine is. Mine's Shift X for duck.
I accidentally got rid of the stop action keybind. What was it?
Oh, the stop key. It's under spellcasting. Oh, stop action or
Yeah, stop action.
I don't know what stop action is. It's unbound. Mine's unbound.
I don't think you need
Okay.
that.
I don't know what that is.
Actions are probably like newer stuff. Like
Yeah.
unlocking a chest or something like that.
There is. I don't want to go over all the keybinds right now, but there is one important one. If you open that back up, does anyone remember where the disband key is?
It's under commands.
It's under commands. So go to commands and click on disband. Control D is a button combination you accidentally hit a lot. So just erase that. Just hit escape. You will never need a hotkey for disbanding from your group.
That's a
That'll
good
just stop
point.
you from getting experience, and you'll just be like, oh, I'm not in the group anymore. Also, unbind auto attack from Q. You don't need that bound to Q. The best way to do that is to, if you're a melee character, you just make a hotkey that's auto attack, put that on a hotkey, and bind that hotkey to something. You never need it just bound permanently. That's an old thing. People used to. One of the funny things that happened in the old times is A was the key, but people move with A. So, well, no, actually, back in those days, you moved with arrows. Anyway, people would always be. They'd accidentally attack enemies or allies and just die and be like, "Oh no, I just killed myself." You also lose experience
Rip.
when you die. So yeah, that was pretty bad.
I put auto attack on Q. I think that's pretty useful.
Mine's on T. It's pretty. Actually, Shift T is for because I don't like accidentally turning on auto attack. So I have it on a shift. But yeah, there's a lot of different stuff, and I'm not going to necessarily go into the details of preference. It'll all be preference. Q isn't terrible, but I prefer Q to be more accessible. T is not bad though. So, I'm not saying yours is a bad choice. I'm just like my response to that is
he keeps fucking with me. He won
Oh.
that cloth item with all those freaking stats on it, and it's only usable by me. I'm the only one in the whole group that can use it. And he
What?
sent me a message, and he goes, "Yeah, it's in caster only." And he sent
he's
me.
a magician.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he made a cleric.
No.
Wait, I can't equip it. Why can't I equip
Probably
it?
not. Probably not high enough. It's probably a required level.
You can't auto drop it because it'll bind it to your character. You have to put it in the spot.
Oh.
And yes, I made a maid, so I could have used it.
Wait, well, I can't use it. Wait,
What is it? Does it give you a warning?
No, it just drops into my inventory.
Are you
Yeah,
clicking
don't put
on
it in the
slot?
auto drop spot. Put it in the actual slot on your equipment bar.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
oh,
Put it
it's
in
a
the
tunable.
wrist slot.
tune. Oh, I don't know what a tuning is.
Yeah, you'll never have to know. Okay, I'm gonna go through my list real quick because I think we pretty much went over everything in like shotgun mode, but let me just real quick see. Okay, climbing ladders. So this is just something I put on here as a note. There's a spell called Spirit of Wolf.
Furries?
It is the most valuable spell in the game because it makes your movement speed like 50% faster, and you have to run everywhere in this game. And you're the only one of us who will ever get the ability to cast that spell. We call it So. Some people call it Sow, but the correct
Those
Those
pronunciation
people
people
is
are
are
So.
wrong.
You will come to find there are very many pronunciations in this game because it came out in '99 before people had voice chat, and everyone has conflicting opinions on how things are pronounced. So we have our local pronunciation of things.
And
which
our
is
dialect
so,
is correct.
Yeah, ours is the only correct one.
Yep.
So yes, and when someone asks you for SOW, that means please cast the movement speed buff on me because you're the only one who can cast it, and I'm moving very slow.
One of the
your
big
primary job
benefits
will
about
be
that is that you can outrun all enemies because almost
Yep.
no enemies have movement buff. So if you have So, you could run through anywhere, and if stuff starts chasing you, you can outrun it and get to a safe
Mhm.
spot.
Unless it can knock you down to like 10% health in the one hit you might take passing it, in which case you're going to be sitting there walking slower and slower towards the guards like, come on, y'all can see me. I'm 2 feet away. Please help. I don't want to die at the lift.
Yeah, so that's actually a good point. I'm glad you said that. Enemies and NPCs will actually interact with each other. So if you run a mob to the guards and the guards like you more than the enemy, they will actually kill the enemy that's attacking you. That can kind of suck if you're like trying to get experience by killing it because they'll steal the experience. But if you're like about to die and a skeleton's chasing you, you run it to the guards and they'll usually kill it. That really only applies during the low levels because there's not guards in high level zones. But
And also
it
for
is cool to know
solo,
that NPCs.
usually if you're in a group, that's not going to happen. But if
Yeah.
you're in a group, like actually this could happen to us, and suddenly you accidentally grab a bunch of reds and they're killing you, then everyone will haul ass for the guards, so the guards
Yep.
will kill the orcs and save your hide.
Exactly. Okay, let's go ahead and move. Follow me. Before we move,
Other way, I thought.
hit M to open your inventory. Yeah, or your map. Sorry. This is kind of important. I'm going to show you how to do this. Did you ever install the maps?
No.
Shit,
No
I
big deal.
forgot about that.
It's okay.
Um,
We'll deal with it later.
The map you see right now is the default map that they gave you. Some zones don't have the default map, and the custom maps have more information on them, so you'll want those. But you can look on the map. This is something you can do though. Open the map and click on that little tiny button in the bottom right, the little, I don't know what it is, one of those cartographer's tools. This is just important. I don't know if Nick or Zach, I don't know if you want to do this too, or if you have already. Set my color on the far left. Click that button. The bright green they start as the default is obnoxious and hard to see. I set my color to deep blue. I find that's usually pretty easy to pick myself out. You don't want to do too dark because then it blends in with the black lines. But again, your total preference, you can mess around with it, customize it. It's just hard to see because you're just like a little arrow in the center, and your size doesn't ever change when you zoom. So
Oh my
you want it
god,
to be
I did not
visible.
know I could change our group and arrow color. This would have come in handy so long ago.
Yep. You also want to do group. Set group color. I set mine to purple so I can see it but differentiate it. So again, these are preferences. This is just what I've honed over the years as what I prefer. So you definitely want to set group to something visible and player to something visible. Unfortunately, those reset on a character and they don't reload with the UI, so you will have to reset them for every character. But that's why I have mine are just easy to remember. I do 255, 0, 255, and 255 blue. So just the maximum of each. That's why I don't worry about customizing, but you can. With your inventory open, you'll be able to see like where you're moving and stuff. You can zoom in and out, and you can like see things on the map. If you click on the map, it will auto find to that location. It'll set a like anywhere, not a name, but like just a spot on the map. It might be right click. Yeah, it's right click. When you get it shows a little window. If you close your map, you'll see in real world, you'll see a little glowy yellow path. That can be useful when you're in a city. If you're trying to find like a specific merchant or a trainer or something, it navigates you through the city so you can just follow it. In most zones, it's not useful. It's only going to be in the cities. But if you click on there's a button where you can actually search. It's in the map window where it says find in the bottom left. So click on N find in the bottom left, and then click on find, and it'll show you a list of NPCs. Scroll down. It should be alphabetical order by category. Look for Druid Spell Vendor on the left. There you go. It actually, you scroll past it, so it's alphabetical. So look for D. And yeah, so Druid Ranger spells. Go ahead and find to that guy, and now follow the find path to that merchant. So you can follow it on the map, and you can also see the actual thing in real life. Having your map open is great because it allows you to perfectly navigate, but you got to be careful not to fall in like pits or mostly past monsters. If there's enemies and you run past them with your map open and you don't notice, you're just going to get smashed in the face. To purchase, and you see they've got like little tabs under, like little things under their names. So you find the one that says Druid Ranger spells, and this I'm pretty sure is a common thing in games. But you right click to open a dialogue with them, and it will open their shop menu. This is all items they have on them. This includes items that players have sold to them. But if you sort by level, which is the very, very far right one, your spells are always sorted by level. So that will by default show you all of the spells that you have. If you scroll down, you start seeing the spells. Level dash is any level, so 0. And then they're sorted by level. Actually, I think it was already sorted by level. I think you accidentally unsorted it. That was my bad. So you probably want to click on level again. There you go.
Got it.
So you should. I don't know if you have money actually. Do you have money? Check your inventory. Usually I keep my inventory in the center of the screen, and then you just open and close it. So you have no money. So open the vendor dialogue again, because you can actually buy and sell stuff. So this is why you're going to have that separated from your inventory, because you have to actually click items in your inventory to sell them. So however you want to have it arranged, I have my inventory in the middle and the shop on the left. So just start clicking stuff in your inventory, see what you can sell. It'll tell you when you click on it, it messages you and he says what he'll give you. So forage stuff is nothing. Snake eggs, he'll give you 4 copper. If you have a stack, again, same thing. Control click sells 1, shift click sells all of them. So you have 2 snake fangs, he's going to ask you how many you want to sell. If you're selling a bunch of stuff, you want to just probably hold shift just to sell all of them. So shift will sell, or control will sell 1 at a time. Unfortunately, that is all the loot you had, and I didn't pick up any loot either. Did either of you bother looting and selling stuff?
But I didn't have enough money for my pet spell yet. I was just a little short.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'm 6 copper short.
Shit. Okay, let's go grind for a little bit and get some money. So the grove hairs don't give anything. Let's just kill snakes.
No, the fluffy grove hairs. Well, maybe the grove hairs don't too. I don't know.
What'd you say, Will?
We're actually gonna go play the game? Holy
Yeah, we gotta play the game.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. This is the game.
But yeah, that's the first thing I did, Jake, was I looked to see if I could afford my level 2 pet spell.
Oh,
Nope.
I think I wasn't rolling stuff because I'm the leader, and so I wasn't bothering to roll. Yeah. Well, it auto rolls though.
Well, I got a lot of stuff because y'all didn't.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough to buy my pet spell.
Oh, did you equip that crude defiant item?
Yes.
Damn, that sells for like 2 platinum.
So I'm
It's
pulling.
okay. We'll get more.
Yeah, just start bashing and stuff. The reason I wanted you to buy your spells mostly is you don't have any damaging spells right now, but you do get a damaging spell at level 1. You just have to buy it. So we're gonna try and get you that because I want you to have that. Set all to always need. Actually, I could just pass loot to Will. You want to just do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Why are you fighting hares?
I think they drop stuff.
Yeah, I think the fluffy ones don't, and I think the regular ones do, but I could be wrong.
Help.
And
Help. 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 I'm chain pulling. I'm Nick pulling.
No, this is actually going to be our strategy. So this isn't stuff you need to know. This is just general game knowledge. Enchanters, which Nick is going to be, they get a pet, which you don't get to control. It just follows you around, and it only attacks enemies that attack you first. So the way we're going to play it first is going to be Nick is going to run around punching stuff, so it hits him first. So it makes his pet aggro. And then we can kill it after his pet aggroes, because if he doesn't get hit, his pet will not help us. So our strategy is going to be Nick runs around making stuff hate him, and then we kill it once it's on him.
I'm good at that. I'm good at chaos pulling.
Good.
Oh, you already know that I'm good at chaos pulling.
Now it does have to be slightly restrained chaos pulling, because it's optimal to kill yellows, but you also don't want to have like a bunch of yellows aggroed at the same time, and your pet can only kill one thing at a time. So chaos pull 1 yellow at a time, and then once it's about to die, go pull another one. And so you absolutely free to just go nuts, but don't just swarm kite a bunch of yellows, because you'll just die. So
well, I know that whenever I die, it's because I was not careful. It's
exactly.
I don't die on.
I have 6 gold. Do you want me to hand the money to Nick so we can test how he's going to do this? Do you want me to give some to Nick, some to Will? How do you want to do
give it to Will. I just want to show Will how scribing spells and stuff works. So they just need to be able to buy spells and use them.
I guess we're gonna level up and get spells here before we go to a G-Fey.
Yeah, once Will scribes spells, that's pretty much the last thing we need to do here, and then we can go to G-Fey. I just wanted them to be able to do that in this while we're here. Get them a nuke, show them how to use nuke spells, stuff like that.
Nuclear bomb?
Oh yeah, that's what. So there's direct damage spells that do nothing except just do damage, and those are called nukes. That's the colloquial term.
There's nukes, which are just direct damage. There's AoE, which is area of effect. What is Warren's Scatter Guard?
Ooh,
What the fuck is
I
that?
think
druid.
chain.
It's
I'm
for
gonna-
No,
druid.
monk.
No, it's leather, but does it sell for anything? I'm gonna give it to Will. I think they're the only one that can equip it anyway.
It's crappy stats
So-
though. You should just sell. Oh, guys,
Yeah.
help!
Yeah.
I chaos pulled too
Oh my
much.
God.
I did the thing that I do.
Die.
No, just come kill all this.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm running away because I can't see. I'm not my little blue icon.
Now,
Oh my god, how did you get so many?
Chaos pull.
Here, I'll lay on hand you.
when you have a pet, the chaos pull thing, once again, like Jake already pointed out, the pet can only focus one thing at a time.
Yeah. Hey, that's between y'all. Y'all are gonna be doing that before I get there. So see, optimally, you don't want to have a bunch of mobs attacking you because you can only hit one at once. But if you kill stuff so fast, it's a lot slower to have to go pull one thing at a time. So sometimes we'll pull a bunch of mobs. Nick's an enchanter, which he can actually put mobs to sleep when they're in the group. So we'll actually pull like 4 or 5, and then Nick will put all of them to sleep, and we'll kill them one at a time. Okay, so go back to your druid dude and sell as much stuff as you can. And if you have enough money, buy. You can't use flame lick. So some spells require components, but they mostly don't get consumed. You have a spell called Flame Lick, which is a DOT, damage over time. It's very strong and very cheap to cast, but you have to have a Fire Beetle Eye in your inventory at all times. Those are only dropped off of Fire Beetles, which are only in certain areas. So when we're playing, you'll actually have one, but right now you don't have one, so you can't cast that spell. So buy the spell at the top, which is Burst of Flame.
Wait,
you
I
do
think they
have
have
enough
that.
money.
D-
What?
Oh no, they have minor
Nope.
healing to start.
Yeah, they start with healing and
Wow.
shield. So control click, so spells stack. So you actually don't want to buy a stack of spells, you want to buy just one. The fastest way to do that is hold control and click buy. Because otherwise you're having to click when you're buying all your spells. Nope, you just bought 2. You don't want more. Nope, you have 3 now. You bought 3. Now, it's not that big of a deal at low levels. At high levels, spells start costing a bunch of money, and you can't sell it back for shit. You'll sell it back for like half of what you paid for it. That can be a big mistake. So it's good that you see that.
If you click buy, it'll pop up and ask you how much, and it defaults to 1. So that's also a safe way to do it when you're still getting used to the UI.
The safest way is to hold control and click once, and then not again. And you hear that little ching noise when you purchase it. So you can go ahead and sell those back. It's not a big deal. So control click to sell 1, because again, you don't want to sell all 3, or you can use that thing. Basically, there's for most of the vendors, you're either going to want to buy or sell 1 or a full stack. There's almost never any reason for you to buy or sell less than a full stack or more than 1 or 2. And it's just so much slower to type in the number rather than just going control click 3 times. Again, just an optimization thing, not a big deal. You can right click the spells in the merchant window to see their stats if you don't know what they do. It'll give you a brief description of the spell. Again, in that little... Oh, why is it?
For me, I alt-right click on the picture in the display window, and alt-right click shows the preview.
It is. I'm sorry, it was just hidden by other windows. Yeah, so you don't want to alt right click when you're looking at it. It depends on the context of the menu. In a merchant window, it's just right click, not alt right click. Alt right click. In fact, it's never alt right click. It's either alt click. No. You were that. I'm telling them. What you said was correct. For inspecting an item. See, that's kind of annoying. Alt left click for spells. Oh, no, it's always alt left click. Yeah, never alt right click. It's always alt left click. You don't even have to think about right click. Inspecting anything is the same. Alt left click will pop it up. Alt right click will be incorrect. But it's not a big deal. It just opens the wrong window and it slows you down.
I just want to comment that Will is doing incredibly good because the fact that they haven't rage clicked and flipped the board already is very impressive.
What?
Just the amount of shit that's like, yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? That's just, yeah. You're doing great.
Yeah.
I'm used to shitty games on occasion, but nothing has ever compared to the level of shitstorm this is.
Have you played OSRS, old school RuneScape?
No, but I've
No,
seen.
Okay, that's worse. RuneScape is worse, 100%.
I wish you could see the original UI. If they could see the original UI, sorry.
Yeah,
On
the
EverQuest?
original EverQuest UI actually makes a lot more sense. I mean, it's worse because the window is tiny. Yeah, remember playing that on like 800 by 600? No, I started off at 640 by 480 and upgraded it to 800 and was like, oh, now I can see more.
There, I just sent you a screenshot, Will. If you want to look at Discord, imagine this game, but in that UI at 800 by 600 resolution. None of that is customizable. Every single thing is set in place. no custom chat windows. You can't change filters. You can't move windows around or resize them. You only get six custom slots. God, that I would not even ask you to play that version. It's so bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
But it makes sense. It puts everything in good places, and you can see your spell slots. They're like really prominent. Like
yeah, I mean, for the time, it wasn't terrible, but in any modern sense, it's just awful.
I think it makes more sense than the default UI that you get here. And because if you don't set all that up, it's just unplayable. At least the old one you could play. It just looks like crap.
It's out of the box, straightforward playable, but it's not sustainable in any way whatsoever. Hey, it's not that bad, okay? That's like got shit going on. I know it feels like that at first, but once you have everything set, I like to push everything towards and make like a U shape. So I have like my chat windows on the bottom, and then I have like my group stuff on the side, and then I have a big clear open space in the center. You've kind of got a good one. Having the inventory open is not necessary because it's like there's never a time where you'll need to see what's in your inventory unless you're like tracking how many of a specific item you need. You need exactly 6 or something like that.
Also,
so
I
there's a lot.
think you could bump your resolution up because I don't know what you're at, but it looks. I know your screen is
normal.
smaller than mine. What? Are you sure?
It looks normal to me. Yeah.
I'm running at 10. What am I running at? Video modes. I'm running at 1920 by 1080.
Yeah, that's what mine is too.
I think. Okay.
You can check in your options.
Show them how to check their options and see what resolution.
I mean, you already did. Now, I actually don't know how to check the resolution because when I go to mine, it says 640 by 480.
What? Go to options.
It's just preset. That's what's pre-selected. I don't think it does not actually tell me what I have.
Mine does.
Watch, I've been playing 640 by 480 somehow this whole time. I don't want to mess it up though, because it'll screw up when you do it. It like resets all your UI stuff.
Yeah, but then you just want to do it once. Okay, so well, up at the top, click on the gear for options. Okay, and now click on display tab. Okay, now click on video modes. This is also the worst option.
God.
It's in the middle.
Where?
There's a button that says video modes. It's in the middle. Okay. Now scroll that bar down, and what the hell? The one you're on should have like an asterisk, I think.
No, mine doesn't either. So, but you go ahead and check the bottom one, the 1920 by 1080, just to make sure, and do accept. It's probably gonna lag and reset, but I think that's.
You just want to make sure you're on that mode. It gives you more UI space. It doesn't.
It's good to make sure.
It doesn't.
Oh God.
Has it loaded yet, or is it still?
Yeah.
Frozen? Okay.
No, it's loaded. It's just. Where did half of my shit go?
Oh, what the?
Oh, hit Alt Enter.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, you're right. It is smaller. Yeah, you don't need huge stuff, so that's actually the best resolution to play at.
Yeah, because
I don't know what resolution it was on.
It lets
Why is it blue?
What?
Blue.
It's blue.
What's blue?
What is?
Okay, maybe I'm just losing my mind because if I try to screenshot it, it won't show.
Is there like a graphical glitch? You might need to relog.
Yeah.
Okay,
That might be.
sit and do /camp to go to the character select screen, and then just log back in.
If you don't have to sit first.
What?
Just /camp is how you log out of the game. Your character sits down for 30 seconds, and then after that you'll log out of the game. So
Oh,
that's actually really good to know. So like say we're fighting and someone accidentally pulls a bunch of mobs and we're about to die. We're gonna tell you camp out right now. You're going to camp and start the timer so that hopefully before the mobs come to kill us, your character will disappear out of the world and be safe. You can quickly disconnect if you need to, but it keeps your character in the game for a long time. So you always want to safely camp out to be safe.
No, I know games that do safe logging like that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
You are a true gamer. You actually have a chance at enjoying this. If once you get used to it and they're able to enjoy it, it can be a lot of fun. Like
Yeah,
even horrible things
exactly.
like when there's swarms of mobs chasing you, it's really exciting. And then when all those mobs divert and go slaughter this helpless group of people, oh my god, there's no better satisfaction.
There's a reason people still like it. It is a very intensive and optimizable game if you know what you're doing.
Defiant Chain.
Oh, I can't use that. None of us can, but we can sell it. Who wants it?
I'm just trying to get silver so I can go buy my pet. AFK sec.
I'll give it
I
to.
just want malachite so I can summon my pet.
Here, I'll give it to Uzak, and you can sell it and just get tiny daggers and malachite. Just sell it and share it with Nick.
I will happily, but I'm pretty sure that I actually. Oh god, that's not my attack music. I forgot that I had this. Never mind, this thing going in the background. I was really confused. No, I have the money. I just need to go and buy malachite.
Okay. So yeah, you'll get all your UI stuff set up. There's a couple of options we can go through and change that make things easier for you, but it's not going to be anything significant. But there will be things over time that you're like, oh my god, I wish I knew that sooner, and we're like, oops, yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Oh, one other thing. So remember I told you how to assist me earlier? Type /assist off. So normally when you assist someone, it automatically assumes you want to attack what they're attacking, and it will turn your attack on automatically. You don't want that to happen because sometimes you want to assist just to find their target, and you don't want to have your auto attack automatically turned on. So you always want to have that bite. So now if you assist me, you'll target my guy, but you're not going to start attacking it.
You know, this video could actually get views because it's an EverQuest tutorial for
Oh my god.
a total new player. So if someone wants to play and they've never played before, just watch our stream.
Oh
And
god.
they can
Yeah.
hear all of our stupid shit.
And your channel's
Exactly.
deleted.
Nick, come here. I'm going to give you a platinum so you can go buy tiny.
How do
daggers.
you have a platinum?
Already?
Because I've been practicing for the last. Also, Jake gave me something to sell.
Ding,
are
level
you
3.
Grats. You're familiar with the loot system, right, Will? It's the it's D&D. It's 10 for 10 for 10.
Yeah.
So platinum is everything is priced in platinum because no one cares about gold, silver, or copper. At low levels, it'll matter for like when we're trying to scrap together stuff to buy. But as soon as you're like 10 or 15, you'll only care about platinum. But there are technically 4 currencies, and it all automatically converts. Used to be you have to go to the bank to convert it, and it used to be that they had weight, so you could have like thousands of copper, and it'd be weighing you down. Okay, I want to show you this. Since we're in a group, hit F1 on your keyboard. Do you have F keys on your keyboard? I'm assuming.
Yep.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you had like a laptop keyboard or something. F1 always targets yourself. F2 targets your first party member as they show in the window. F3, F4, etc., etc. So
Oh, that's so useful.
I will be totally clear. I don't use that just because the F keys are so out of the way for me. I prefer just to click, just because that's how I'm used to it. But that may be useful for you in the future to know you can instantly target yourself, and if you hit it again, it cycles back to your previous target you had before them. So you can quickly cycle to the first party member, heal them, and then cycle back to whatever else you were targeting. There are a couple of other like tactic things, but those are things we can teach you later that aren't actually gameplay relevant. So, do you guys want to go ahead and go to Jifei?
Yeah, which pet is the best mage pet again? I can't remember.
Water.
That's what
Water's
I
the
thought.
early.
Always water.
It's the earliest one you get. It has the strongest nuke, and it has the most HP, second most HP.
Should I buy any? I've got like a level 4 spells. Should I buy 5 or above or?
I don't know how long we're gonna be playing or how far, but
good point. Where are the tiny daggers?
Should be a spell supplies vendor.
Okay.
Although these ones start with nothing but the basic stuff we sell to them and the spells, so there's a good chance they don't have them. Like
Yeah,
my Malachite, I'm gonna have to go somewhere else to buy.
Yeah, if you haven't found Malachite, you'll be able to find them in Felwith if you want to go grab them when we get there. Okay, so really when you first start the game though, normally what you do is you go out into your newbie zone, which is whatever city you started in, and you just start killing stuff until you level up, and then you can explore further on and go through dangerous zones. We're not going to do that. You're going to start the game as a level 1 character with no equipment, and you're going to immediately trek across the entire world to meet up with us on the other side of the world. But you'll have Joey. He's going to be guiding you, so you're going to be using auto follow, manual follow, and Discord to keep close to him to make sure stuff doesn't kill you. In this version of the game, travel is very, very easy. Guts. But you are still going to have to kind of follow close to make sure you don't go too far. But this will be good practice for when you're following Joey. So let us go ahead. Did you get the spell? Yeah. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Open your spell book. Mine is bound to K because it's a little bit faster, and that's like the skills button in most games. But I think we determined it was Control B right now.
I can't find spell supplies.
It's probably not. You'll just have to. You can run ahead to POK and get them if you want. Okay, so move your spell book.
Nick,
so you
do you
can
need to follow me to be able to get to the POK? Head outside this building to the east and come follow me.
Hold on, I'm searching for tiny dagger on the enchanter spell.
So you have the right idea. You don't hold left click. You just pick it up and click it. Yeah, in one of the empty slots in your book, and it will scribe it into that slot. Scribing is very fast. Memorizing is not. Once you have it scribed, click it and click it onto your spell bar. Has to be the smaller spell bar, the actual spell bar, not the hotkeys.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. And it'll start scribing it. If you look in your spell book, oh, that was really fast. If it's a longer scribe, it'll show in your spell book your time left to memorize it, and it usually is like 10 seconds. It just has a little bar. So you've got that memorized now. So now you can go cast nukes on monsters if you want. It's basically the same as a heal, but it's going to deal damage, and it can only be cast if you're targeting an enemy that you can hit. One cool thing about it, though, is you don't have to actually see the target. Your character just has to have line of sight to it. So you can target enemies with tab or tilde, and then cast a spell on it, even if you have no idea where it is, as long as you're in range of it. And you'll be able to pull it. You'll be able to start fighting it without having to find it. Early on, that's really useful because you're having to run away, run all around a place. See how much damage it does, but it also costs a lot of mana. So as a spellcaster, having your auto attack on doesn't hurt your spell casting at all. You can turn auto attack on and spam your spells, and in between your spell casts, your character will have a chance to swing, but it's almost always optimal to just cast over and over and over and over and over. So when you're fighting a monster, you turn on auto attack and then cast until it dies. Or in the case of a group, I'm going to be fighting something, say, and while I'm fighting it, you can either run up and attack it as well and cast spells, or once you get around level 10, your melee is very weak. You don't even need to waste time meleeing it. You want to just be sitting the whole time, cast a spell, and sit back down. That's your primary. Yeah, this exactly what you're doing right now. This is how the game will look 90% of the time. You're going to be sitting down. You're going to stand up and cast a spell to heal. Sit down. Stand up and cast a nuke. Sit down. If something is aggroed, like this thing is fighting me, cast a spell on this one. I have not hit this at all. I just taunted it. So if you hit it, or heals also do. Oh, you're healing it.
Heal?
It is going to eventually get pissed off at you and come and attack you. So there is aggro and threat, and you do have to be careful. As the tank, I will try to pull it back from you. Hopefully successfully. Try sitting down.
Oh, sit aggro.
Usually it will make something hit you. Even if it wasn't currently attacking you, it will turn and start attacking you. Close proximity can make things attack you. So like, see how I ran by it and it re-aggroed me? But then if I run over to you, this is called training. If you make an enemy attack someone by getting close to them, that's called a train. You can kill people that way, and you can get banned for it. So we don't do
my
that.
God.
But other people will do it to us.
Oh.
I do that.
I do that too, depending on
Officially,
character.
we're on stream, so officially we don't do that.
Oh yeah, we don't.
Oh
do that.
yeah.
Okay,
I
but
would never train anyone ever.
this is very important. I didn't get to say it earlier, but now that we've experienced aggro, consider one of these mobs again. Like, click it and hit the consider button. Again, I have mine down to V. That's probably more useful than what it currently is. Oh, you probably also want to turn off those little tips. No, consider it. Don't kill it. Or both.
What is consider?
I think it's C is the default. C for consider. Okay, you can kill it now. Do you see how it says glares at you threateningly?
Yeah.
Okay, I think there's 7 or 8 different tiers of faction. The absolute worst is called ready to attack. That means if you get close to that enemy, it will attack you. Threatening is...
It'll probably attack you.
It's the same thing. It is going to attack you, but the chances of it attacking you are a little bit lower. So still going to attack you. You still have to be careful, but it's not as bad. Everything after that is safe. It will not automatically attack you first unless you attack it. Dubious means it probably won't do trading with you, so you won't be able to sell to it or buy from it or do quests at it. Everything else is fine. So those are the 3 you need to know. It's either threatening or ready to attack, which means don't go to it because it will attack you. Anything else is fine. You'll be safe. These mobs, if you notice, they're indifferent, which is the default. But once you're fighting them, they become threatening. But other enemies will just be based on your race. So like the Ixars, the lizard people, they hate everyone and are hated by everyone. So everyone who goes to their city, they will say ready to attack. There's also...
God.
You're a wood elf? What?
I'm soul binding and fell with.
You are a good race and a good deity. So most people will like you. But evil races like trolls, dark elves, and ogres will kill you on sight. So if you see an ogre or a troll, stay away from them because they'll probably kill you. There's also evil versions of different races. So like dwarves are a good race, but in this one zone where the dwarves live, there's dwarven bandits, and they will kill you on sight too, even though they're dwarves. So you're not allowed to be racist because the race doesn't always mean they'll be good or bad. Race doesn't always mean they're good or bad. There's also a few NPCs that exist that are other races that are not from the original game, and they're for like a quest that doesn't exist yet, and they're just neutral NPCs. So there's a lot of those around too that probably aren't a big deal. But for the most part, if you see something, target it and consider it to see what level it is and if it's going to try and kill you. That will be your most useful key, is C or whatever you rebind it to see, is that enemy going to kill me? No? Good. So keep that in mind. That is the last thing I have. So when you're ready and you're done smashing stuff, we can go to the real newbie zone, where there'll be high level stuff more than these level ones. You can auto follow me or you can manual follow me and let me know when you're ready to go.
Ready?
All right, let's go. So I'm navigating using my map. Oh, the auto follow. Isn't it awesome? And yeah, you're like, so I might move faster than you sometimes, so I've got to turn around and make sure you're still there and slow down. It's fun.
Can my water pet dual wield?
Nope. Not till like level 20.
Wait, how come it required a malachite to cast, but it didn't consume the malachite?
It should. I don't know why it didn't. Might be an EQ live thing.
Yeah, it did not consume that malachite. Now I have two because that's all I could afford. So I thought I'd have one extra, but nope.
Yeah.
I just have two malachite in my
That's weird.
inventory.
They probably changed it. Do me a favor while we're here. Open your map. You see how there's like a bunch of names and stuff like covering the map. When you download the new maps, there's like it tells you where every NPC is, and it gets very cluttered. Click on that labels button on the right. That temporarily turns off all the labels so you can see like the actual lines of the map. So if you're running through a city and you need to see where the corridors are, you can use that to turn off all the clutter. Height filter is a similar thing because there's like different layers built up, and that'll show you just the stuff that's on your relative level. That can also be very useful for areas like this, which is like a tower, but it doesn't matter too much because we're not going to stay here. So you can come and follow me. Those are other players that actually play this horrible game on the live version.
That actually play the horrible game.
Can you imagine?
Stupid bastards.
Oh, I
Can you
have-
imagine how little lives they have?
I had just enough money to buy Gate. I'm so happy.
All right, so where we're going right now, there is a hub world that came out probably 3 years after the original game. I think it was like 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
We may actually end up playing that far. I did play that far the last time I played, second to last time I played. But it's like 9 months down the road, so probably not. They introduced a zone, so there's planes, which are like the high level
Where the
god
gods are.
zones and stuff, the highest level zones. There's only three in the original game. But then Planes of Power came out, and they came out with like the whole expansion of planes. There's like 12 new planes. All the raids are
Plane
like
of
are, like,
water,
in the
plane of
plane.
fire, plane of nightmares.
Every plane you can imagine they came out with, and there's like different rating tiers, but they're all like raid zones, so we're not going to go there. But this is a zone. There's nothing indicating it unless you look at the map. Open your map. You see how it says unclick height filter, and you'll probably have to zoom out. You see how it says on the map? I think it says Blightfire Moors right there. That little purple tech. Wait, does it? Oh, turn on labels. You have labels turned off still. See how it says Blightfire Moors?
Yep.
On the real map, it's going to show an actual line. That line is not exact though. But just keep walking in this direction, like you're going down this tunnel. Did your game freeze?
Yes.
Okay, you are zoning, so the zones are like separate servers. So
Oh, shit.
every time
So
you go
I'm
through a
going
zone,
into
it does
them.
this shit.
Oh yeah,
And
because
then-
you're used to playing like
Yeah.
congruent games or whatever they're called. So
Yup.
in EverQuest, the whole world is split up into zones, which have to load each time that you enter them. So it's annoying because then every time you get to a zone, you have to wait for it to load. But you're usually staying in one zone as you're doing stuff, unless you're traveling. But here's the thing: when you zone, enemies do not follow you. So if you have enemies attacking you and you run to a zone, then they disappear and you're safe on the other side. So
Yep.
that is your
Shit,
safe.
that's nice.
That is your safe zone. Like when we're fighting orcs in Crushbone and we accidentally get a whole bunch attacking us and we have to run for our lives, you run to the zone. When you exit Crushbone, boom, you're safe. Now what
Yep.
sucks is when someone on the other side has also brought stuff to the zone. So when you get to the other side, there's enemies waiting for you. If you run to a zone with a whole bunch of enemies chasing you, that is called a train. And you say train to zone, and that means you are bringing a whole bunch of mobs to the zone, so everyone move out of your way. Because when you
Yep.
zone out, the enemies are still there, and then they attack whoever they see. So
Yep.
that's a really good way to get enemies to attack other people, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But you're not
And it's
supposed to
not
do
against
that.
the rules because you're just fleeing. You're just running for your life. It's their fault for being in a dangerous area.
It's only
Right.
It
against the
especially
rules.
sucks when you zone in and
Yep.
someone has charmed and buffed and then rooted at the entrance.
No one does
A really
that.
high level enemy.
I'm an
But
enchanter.
Yeah.
I'm probably
you have
gonna
to
do
be
it.
you have to be aware whenever you're zoning that mostly with dungeons, but you do need to be aware that someone may have brought enemies to the zone. So as soon as you pop in, if you think it's going to be safe, there might be enemies waiting for you. So danger. Anyway, I completely forgot zones were a thing, so I had to say that. There is a new zone they came out with called Plane of Knowledge, and this zone has portals to every major city in the game. So instead of having to run across the
Oh
world like
shit!
we're going to have to, you can just teleport straight. So I don't even know where we are in the world because I don't care about this area. I think it's Bador? High Pass. Yeah, so we're in Antonica. So this is a Plane of Knowledge book. To interact with things in the game, you just click on them and they just happen. So you click on this book and it will actually teleport you to the Plane of Knowledge. It's a
Oh
zone
shit!
just like running across the zone line does. This teleports you to the Plane of Knowledge, and there's a way back. Some zones don't have a way back, so you do have to be careful, but most of them do. So this is the hub world. You don't have to memorize the layout very much. I'm just going to lead you to the stone that goes to where we are supposed to start and where we will start in the live server. But this is the Plane of Knowledge with all the portals to everywhere. Okay, so go ahead and follow me. So there's like every vendor imaginable here. Every spell is sold here. A portal everywhere. It's like the hub zone, even in modern day, just because it's everywhere is connected.
Jake, what slot should I put Mesmerize in?
I have mine in 3 usually. You want it in the top 4, if that's how you play, or you can put it anywhere and bind it to like Q or something. Okay. There's 2 zones because the city we're going to is the city of the High Elves and the Wood Elves. I'm actually going to bring you to Felwith first, just so you can run through the whole forest and see what it's like. So this teleports us to Felwith. This is the High Elf city. The books are always outside of the zone, except the Wood Elf city. It's called Kelethin, but the actual zone itself is in Greater Fadark, which is the name of this forest. So this is a classic zone. This is what the game is supposed to look like.
Ooh.
Isn't this so much more high quality graphics and stuff? Look at that. Look at those
No.
textures. Look at those 64 by 64 stretched
Holy shit!
grass
Every
textures.
angle change in a
giant
hill, you will
wasp
never notice a
working.
crease. I promise. It's fluid.
Yup. Okay, so see this wasp? We're not going to fight him right now because we're not bound here, and I don't want to run back all the way. So go ahead and follow me. This is a good place you can look at your map too, because this map will be visible because it's a zone map. And you can see all those vendors. Those are all Kelethin. That's the Wood Elf city. We're not going to go in here, but this is Felwith. Stop right here. This is about the safe distance you can get from enemies that will kill you. You see those guards there? They're not going to kill you because they're good. But if you were a ogre or a dark elf, those guys will hate you because they are good. So if I'm getting probably right about here, they're going to run out and start attacking me. So this is your safe distance from bad enemies. It depends on the level difference too. So if they're much higher than you, it's maximum range. If they're low, you can kind of get close to them. The way aggro works, though, this is important to know, but not like this is more of a technical thing. They only check for aggro every 6 seconds on a tick. It's called a tick. That's how everything is tracked in the game. Every 6 seconds, a tick happens.
Oh yeah.
So
Like Minecraft has ticks.
yes, it's exactly like Minecraft ticks. So think about that, where it's like if you run past something when a tick doesn't happen. I think Minecraft ticks are a lot faster though. This game is 6 seconds.
Yes.
So if you have Spirit of Wolf and you're moving super fast, but those guys hate you, if you enter this zone and then get out of their range before the tick goes off, they will not aggro you. So that is a way you can run past stuff safely. That's why another reason Spirit of Wolf is so good, because it allows you to just cut through just the corner of their aggro radius without making them attack you. So,
Nice.
but these guys are nice. Everyone here in this zone is nice. You should be fine. And the paths, it used to be you are supposed to follow the paths. Imagine this game with no maps. Imagine being like, okay, I'm at the Felwith city and now I have to get to Kelethin. Which path do I take through the forest? But we're just gonna look at our map and we're just gonna point our arrow until we're roughly in the direction and we're just gonna beeline it, because there's not really anything dangerous here. But if you are being extra safe, which you and Joey will be, you actually follow the paths, and generally enemies aren't wandering around paths. There can be, but you see how there's like a skeleton there and there's an orc over there.
Yeah.
Those guys are bad. They'll attack you, even the low level ones. So if you click on them, you'll see they say ready to attack. That's what you got to watch out for. So get in the habit of every single thing you see, click it and consider it, because you always want to know if something is high level. You want to know if it's a rare mob. It actually pops up and says rare mob if you consider it. But yeah, everything you see. I'm always tilde will target something basically if you're even relatively close to it and looking at it. So I always just have my I have my fingers on tilde and V, and I just cycle through and look for. If I see something that says ready to attack, I stop moving and look around.
I forgot how fucking OP mages are right out the gate.
Yep.
Oh my god, and my pet,
Holy shit.
so ridiculous.
Yours is level 5. Your level 2 pet's level 5. It's insane.
Yeah, Enchanter Pet is
Yep.
sick too. That's why we're like basing our early leveling around you getting
Yep.
hit first.
Now mage is better because you can actually control it and it's the same strength, but no one wants to play a mage, so Enchanter's fine.
Oh.
Now I could box a mage, but it's not going to be in the group, so meh.
Yeah.
This is the Wood Elf City. If you look up, you can see the city.
Yeah, I see it.
It's in the trees. To get up to it, you have to go on these lifts, and you click that little stick that's sticking out of that little box right there, and that will activate it.
On game day, if you see somebody waiting for the lift, rapidly click it nonstop as much as you can. That way, there's a chance they won't get on the lift in time and it'll abandon them. It's hilarious. Trust me.
It is pretty funny, not gonna lie. Click it again, and when you click it, it doesn't stop like halfway through. It'll only activate it if it's not moving. I stole that one. Yoink.
Hey, can you tell me? Can you
Yep.
tell me, Gina, real quick? I set up a new profile for Destiny. It's got a class box, but I haven't set my class. Like, how do I? Does it have like default ones?
I can't tell you really quick because it is extremely complicated and it's not simple at all.
Okay.
Later on, I can share my settings with you. But it is incredibly complicated. It's a whole thing on its own. So unfortunately, no, that's not something I can just tell you real quick, only because of how complicated it is.
Okay, I'll try to figure it out.
It's once I can sit down and tell you about it, it's not too bad. But going through how that works is not easy. In the current game, I think fall damage is significantly reduced. But in the live game, if you fall off of here, you just die, especially at low levels, because it does like a lot of damage.
I see.
So this is one of the scariest cities in the game because you can just die at any time. It's also the hardest to navigate because these little platforms are connected by bridges and ramps, so you have to memorize the city. But if you will follow me,
Wait,
where are we? Yep.
before we go, I'm gonna have to AFK real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Be right back.
Just go up into the trees, auto follow him, and don't let him know. I'm kidding.
Yeah, auto follow. Oh, yeah. That when they get back, actually, I'm going to say that's actually a good point. Auto follow this is where you do not want to auto follow.
Yeah, this is one of those zones. Assuming that fall damage still works the way that in TLP like it used to.
Yep.
Not one of the zones you want to auto follow.
And it does. It hasn't changed. Do you want me to briefly go over how Gina works? I can't go into like the full detail, but I can give you a briefing.
Yeah, okay, so add and then trigger name. I'm going to say Mez broke and then search text.
So you have to add a character.
I did.
You have to link the character to your log file. Did you do that?
Yep.
Okay. You have to activate the character by clicking on it so it's green and not red. Did you do that?
Yep.
Okay. Then you have to add a trigger group. Did you do that? The middle one, the book?
Oh, no, I didn't. Oh yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, I have a group for class.
Okay, so you already have a default class one. So then you click on add trigger. So add.
Okay.
You have to oops, what did I do? Let me find a trigger here. Trigger name is just for you, just to reference it. It's what shows on the front. Search text is what it's going to look for on a line of text. It's not going to consider the timestamp, but it's going to search for that exact string of text anywhere in the text. If you want it to be specifically at the start of a string, so someone can't like troll you and do say the message, you use the carrot. Other than that, it's regex. So I can't help you with that very well because I hate regex. It's awful.
What?
It's
I'm
awful, and
joking.
I'm not familiar with it. Are
Wait,
you? Are
what?
you?
What's regex?
I've
Oh,
used
good.
regex for probably 8 years, and I still cannot write a successful regex statement without Googling, looking it up, reading the documentation, doing it 6 or 8 times, rereading some more,
You
having a night of frustration, and spending a few more hours at the keyboard. I mean,
you
it's
you probably use it in SQL. It's basically it's regular expressions. So it's like it's a way to say like wildcard characters, or you can say like any number or a letter
Like
after this
percent
character.
%T?
Yeah. There's that too, but like okay, so if you do like dot, let me try and find a complicated one that I have.
Okay,
slash dot G dollar sign
Yeah.
Oh,
dot
regular
slash.
expressions. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
it.
regular expressions. Yeah. So it's like it's a way to say that search for a string that looks like this, but it has to be in this specific context. The main thing you use for it is placeholder text. So if you do, so you can try it. Do your search text, um, and then that's all you have to do. And then click save, and you'll test it. The default display text is going to be, I think, the name of your trigger, and it's just going to pop up a little text bar that says a message. You can also set it to be a timer when you see that text and change the timer type count up, count down, be a stopwatch, how long, customize all those settings. If you use bracket S curly braces, S curly braces, that will be any string immediately following the search text. So if you say you begin casting S, it will search for you begin casting and then grab every character after that. So that will track any spell, but you can actually have it repeat that spell and tell you what spell was cast by putting that bracket S in the timer or in the alert. So you say you begin casting bracket S, and then in the timer name you can say bracket S remaining or bracket S cast, and it will pop up and actually say the name of the spell. But it's going to do the full string. So you can do things like, let me type it in group here. So you can say like, you want to use the caret to say only at the start of a line. And then you would say you begin casting bracket S. And then you want to say period, because that will search for a string that matches beginning of the string, you begin casting, some text, and then a period. And whenever you cast a spell, that's how it's laid out. It says you begin casting something, period. So yeah, it's like replacement text in a programming language, but it's
Okay, so
first.
the one I set up for Mez, it says search text your mesmerized spell has worn off. Display text your mesmerized has worn off. I can do mesmerized has worn off bracket S.
Yes, and that will tell you which mob it wore off of. However, you said begin casting mesmerize.
No, I tried it once and it worked. It says okay,
Okay.
search text your mesmerized spell has worn off.
Oh, you're doing worn off, right? So I have mine set to be when it hits, and then I have a timer for the duration of the mez, and that's probably what you want to end up having set up.
Oh.
So I search for this text, and then whenever I see that text, I set a timer that looks like that.
Okay.
And then the timer duration is the duration of the spell. So enthrall is 48 seconds. What you can do is you can actually use or, oring, right? Like from programming. You can use or in a single trigger to search for this text or this text or this text, and just combine them all into one. However, for mesmerize, unfortunately, does not work because the durations are different for each spell.
Okay,
You have to have a different trigger.
I'm gonna add one for has been mesmerized
That's mine for has been
Hi, I'm
mesmerized.
back.
Oh, good. Welcome back. I don't know why I have that slash there. It might be to break out of the
And it's-
regex, so it doesn't interpret it as regex.
The backslash is it because dot is it's trying to act like dot is a
24
actual
seconds.
period
Yeah.
and not the special character dot used in regex statements.
Yeah,
Timer
that's
The
that's probably it.
backslash is the escape for a special character.
Yeah.
24. Timer name. Mesmerize.
So the cool thing about Gina is go ahead and mess with that all you want, get it set up because you need to learn it how it works.
Yeah.
But it has a method where you can just share your triggers with someone. So I have a trigger list of all the raid triggers. Like, let me find my raiding ones: Runes of Kunark, Fadedar. So I have one that searches for this, and it will tell you, Fadedar has begun casting Dragon Roar. And it's got all that stuff saved. So I'm gonna copy over mine. I'll send you all those so
this
you have.
timer like shows up on the screen and counts down.
Yep, you can customize where they appear, how they look, the color, how big they are. That is all. That's the more complicated part. Is you have to set a. So each trigger. Sorry, each trigger under the
24
timer.
seconds.
Sorry, under the category, you can pick a category for the trigger, and then you can go to your categories to determine what overlay is used for that category. So you have to make a custom overlay, set that overlay to a category, then set that category to a trigger, and it will use that overlay. I have like two. I have like main alerts and timers, and I just use those two because I don't like the defaults. So yeah, I'll show you more about that, but definitely play around with it and customize it how you like. I've got a bunch of cool ones set up, but for the triggers, don't worry too much about it because I'll share those with you just automatically. It actually checks your log. We're talking about other stuff. We started doing complicated stuff that about the third party software.
My timer is
Oh.
like all borked. It's like
Yeah.
Arabic or something. Yeah, it's like it's seriously like Arabic or something like that.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna share my stream.
Okay, yeah, I want to see what that is.
Okay, can you see it?
I don't see the stream yet.
Yeah, I just see a little smiley face person without a smiley face.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did camera. Sorry, share your
Oh, yeah.
screen.
So this is this is one of the places you don't want to use follow because if I cut a corner too close, you fall off and die.
Yeah, right.
So that's what I'm referring to as death holes.
Can you see my screen now?
No, it just shows your avatar.
Okay.
I can see your screen. Yeah, I can hear me too.
Maybe it's because I'm watching two streams already or something.
Yeah, I can hear you echoing on his stream now, Jay.
Oh, I'll just do my screen. Here we go. This should work. Okay, can you see it now?
Oh, my Discord like reconnected. Okay, I can see it now.
Raccoon Whisperer be dying.
Aw, that's too bad.
Yeah, he's like.
Okay, so watch me mez this guy, this skeleton. Look at my timer.
What the fuck?
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's Arabic.
I hate to tell you this, but you're probably on a special list now.
Okay, so watch this. Watch when it wears off. By the way, enchanters are so cool. I've never actually played with mesmerize. This is so awesome.
It's unbreakable. It's permanent.
I can just walk away.
Yeah, and it'll forget about you too.
Mesmerize has worn off, but it doesn't. The timers doesn't work right because I put it for 24 seconds, but the timer wears off, and then there's like a 2-second delay.
So mesmerize has worn off will only pop up when you see the message mesmerize has worn off. The timer of the actual spell will vary depending on when it hit during the tick timer. Spells last until the end of the tick timer that they were cast in. So it doesn't last for 28 seconds, it lasts for 4 ticks. So when you cast a spell, it could last anywhere from plus or minus 6 seconds. So
Oh.
you always want to have it set to the lowest possible duration that spell can be,
Yeah.
and then you'll have plus or minus 6 seconds at the end
Okay.
for it to wear off. But you
So-
always want to have it be at least last until the end.
So I'm doing like both. I'm having it be a timer when I cast the spell, but then I'm also having it pop up and tell me that it's worn off. That way, whatever wears it off, it'll tell me.
That is good. It will get extremely annoying eventually because you'll be mezzing stuff and then we'll be killing it. I have it set up to say when Mesmerize has been broken early. You can also set that up to automatically end the timer early. So, but it's only by text. So if the same mob gets mezzed and broken early, so that's a whole thing. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with it. Sorry, Will. In
Oh, yeah,
here,
back to them. Sorry.
this is the bank. If you right click on him, you'll be able to see the bank interface. So go ahead, right click and show the bank. In the real game, you have just the 2 left columns. Right, four columns. You have 16 slots. In each of the 16 slots, you can have a bag. So you can have 16 bags in the bank, and that is your extra inventory space. So if you have stuff that you don't want to keep in your inventory, you keep it in the bank.
Okay.
It used to be remember I was talking about like weight and stuff like that. It used to be you would want to keep your money in the bank too because you would lose it when you die, and also it took weight. There's really no reason to ever keep money in the bank now because it's just permanent. But there is a shared bank which you can share between characters on your account. So you might want to eventually put money in the shared bank so your other characters can take it out. But like if you start getting too many items in your inventory, or you want to save something for later, this is where you'll put it. You'll go to a bank in a city. Right click the guy and put stuff in there. It's totally safe, but it's only on this character.
Right.
So let's keep going when you're done there. So from the bank in Kelethin, now you can use the find. Find is going to be really useful in Kelethin. But if you go up here and down here, this is like 1999. I had to memorize these paths, and this is the only path I ever had memorized. This is the Ranger Guild. Some of your Druid spells are only sold in the Ranger Guild. It's weird.
That is weird.
But conveniently, the Druid Guild is right down here, so they're right next to each other. At level 5, you unlock an ability called Origin. Origin will always send you back to the original spot your character started in, which is going to be right here where I'm standing. Your character will, when you start the game, you're going to start right here, and Origin will always bring you back here. So when you're ready to Origin, you come back here, you can buy your druid spells, you can talk to your guild master, you can sell items, you can do all that stuff from right here. You got access to the bank. You've always got to teleport back to your home city. If you didn't buy spells, you could buy them now. If you have money, you're welcome to buy spells. But if you notice the level of those spells, the different vendors have different spells. So you have to actually find the one that has the level 1 spells. In the guide that I wrote, I do have the names of the spell vendors, so you won't have to like fiddle through them, but fiddling through them is pretty much the way you do it. And so you click on, I think Horth Evergreen sells your low level ones. So right click on him, sort it by level, and
low level.
he actually doesn't have them by level. He has all the animal based spells. So for Spirit of Wolf, you'll actually go to him. But for your other spells, you'll have to go to the other vendors. I think Uline Laughing Water. Yeah, he's your low level guy. So talk to Uline Laughing Water. All right, so that's all your low-level spells. So if you can afford any, you can buy them. Grasping Roots is a cool one. It stops an enemy from moving. Snare is going to be a very useful one. It doesn't stop them from moving. It just slows them down.
It's the best spell that druids ever use because it slows the enemy so that they can't chase you and you can get away from them, and it's fucking awesome.
So there's 2 kinds of movement spells. There's Snare, which slows them, and Root, which stops them. Root can be broken when they take too much damage, so it's not permanent. Snare can't. Snare is just, it lasts until the end. Rooted mobs will try to attack anyone they're aggroed on within range. snared mobs will continue chasing the person they have aggro on. So if someone's fighting a mob and you root it, it will keep attacking them. If you snare it, it will keep chasing them, and you can walk up to it totally fine. Whereas normally it would hate you and it would turn and punch you because you're right there. But it's going to keep trying even if it's moving really slow. So that is your main thing as a druid is when higher level mobs get low HP, they'll start to run away and try to get help from their friends. And they run away pretty quickly. So you want to keep them snared so that when they get low enough to run away, they start to run and they can't move very fast. So that's your other primary job, is to keep things snared. But only ones that run away. Not everything runs away. Zombies, undeads don't run away, but a lot of humanoid enemies and animals will run away.
Yeah, usually at low levels it doesn't matter, but at high levels you basically want to snare everything that gets pulled. And snare
Yep.
uses at higher levels uses barely any mana, so that's just basically what you will do is you'll just snare everything.
Yeah, your lowest level snare spell. What's that warning you're getting? You're getting some kind of a message, but I can't read it. Oh, you're right clicking. You have to left click to memorize a spell. Right click is to
okay.
swap spells in your spell book. One other trick, I want you to try this too after you memorize root. See, it's memorizing. You're doing it. It's just you see that little bar in your spell book on the left. It takes time to memorize it. But do this.
Yeah.
Right click on an open spell gem, that last spell gem that's open.
My favorite law channel.
Or any of them, it doesn't matter. Usually you scribe from top to bottom just so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But right click on an open gem, not the gem, not your book. Your,
Oops.
your,
Oh
your
my
spell book.
god.
You don't have to be in your book to do it though. It's okay.
One of these?
Yeah, those are called spell gems, is what they're referred to. So one of the open gems, right click. See how it has those context menus? This is a
Yeah.
way to search your spell book for spells without having to page through every single page. So go to snare and then click on that snare. You'll immediately sit down and begin to memorizing that spell. And then when you're done, you'll immediately stand up. So there's really no reason to ever open your book unless you're scribing a spell, because all of the spells are just there by category.
To meditate, you used to have to stare at your spell book. It
Yeah,
took up your screen. You
it
couldn't
took up
see
your
what was
screen.
going on.
Yep. Yeah, that UI I showed you, it's completely covered by your spell book. So you literally have your face in a book and can't see what's happening. It's so bad. But yeah, so that's an important thing. So like when you're switching out spells, because you only get 8 spells memorized at a time, and you're gonna have probably 12 spells that you want to have ready, especially buffs and stuff. So it's really cool to be able to just instantly right click, forget one, and memorize it back in. But yeah, you've got all your spells memorized. So let's go ahead and do one last thing before we go start killing stuff. Open up your find bar, because I want you to. I'm gonna find it too because I don't know where it is. But I want you to follow along with me with the find, because it's good for you to use it. You can
Where
also
is that?
find to the left of your spell bar. There's a find button to the left of your spell bar too. That's the
Oh,
easier
I see. Dusty.
one. Scroll down to find Soul Binder. It's sorted alphabetically, but it's actually shown in both. So what if you just spam killing stuff?
Yeah, we kind of have been. Sorry.
Okay, so click the Soul Binder. You saw it there. It's towards the bottom. You moused over it. Okay. And so follow that path, or you can, yeah, actually you follow the path and I'll follow you.
Yeah, it is Arabic. I found the timer thing.
Why is it in Arabic? Did it just get set to Arabic?
Yeah, that's the default that it's at.
That's weird.
Pretty awesome.
Starts with A.
Yeah, the default timer is Arabic. And Arial isn't showing up correctly anyway.
Why is it
Dusty
just the timer?
won't stop beeping.
Yeah, but you and every other
What?
white male conservative out there is saying the same thing about that. Oh, Arial the font.
Doing Comic Sans. Oh, Arial, yeah.
Oh yeah, Arial. Okay.
Arial's the wrong color. Talking about the game.
I hate how every year that I play this, the font gets a little bit harder to read, and I have to make it a little bit bigger.
It does for me too, but I don't make it bigger. I just deal with it.
Yeah, well, you're not in your 40s yet.
I'm getting there. Okay, so this is the Soulbinder. Right-clicking him does nothing. If you click him and hit the H button on your keyboard, so that's hailing an NPC. That will get them to tell you their message text. That's how you start quests normally. You talk to NPCs by hitting hail, and they'll give you like a message. They'll have a message in brackets. You can actually click it. That's a new feature. Or you can just type part of the keyword. So he says bind your soul. You say bind your soul, and he's gonna bind you. So now when you die, you'll actually respawn right here. If you
Okay.
notice my message, I'm just gonna say bind, and he's gonna bind me anyway. There are some NPCs for quests where the message in brackets is not exactly what you need to type, and you actually like have to say bind my soul. But he'll accept any of them as long as it contains the word bind. I'm in a bind, and he's gonna bind me because all it does is search your message for the word bind. That's an important thing to do, but it's not something you have to do all the time. But it's good. It's good to know that there's in every city there's a soulbinder, and there's some non-city areas where there's soulbinders. But that way, because normally if you're like halfway across the world and you die, you're gonna spawn back here, and that will waste about an hour of our time while you run
Yeah.
back. So you always want to be bound very close to where you're fighting. But we're gonna go ahead and run down here.
James, in his first time at Orc Hill, what? Coming from literally the farthest away spot in the world he could have possibly picked.
Yeah. It's okay. Joey's a ranger too. So there's 2 lifts here. These are called lifts. I guess a British person call them that because they should be called elevators. This one is called Newbie Lift because in the original game, this is actually where you started, is just right here. Actually, when you die originally, this is where you respawn. But if you come over here, there's another one over here. These are important for you because if you come here to like buff low-level people, these are the terminologies. I'm just teaching you these. You see that guy over there with the robe and the staff?
Yeah.
He used to be a lot closer, like right here. Long story short, he's what you do to turn PvP. Every server has PvP enabled, but you have to talk to a priest of Discord. If you're PvP, you can't interact with other non-PvP players. So if you're PvP, I can't buff you because you're PvP. So no one is PvP because it's awful. But if you do, your name turns red and it's like all cool and stuff. And it used to start you with the item, so people would be like, "Oh, I'm gonna turn this in," and yeah, it doesn't.
Everyone turned PvP right off the bat who didn't even know how to play the game.
Yeah, exactly.
My God.
Okay, so this is called the POD lift because he's the priest of Discord. So we call this the pod lift, the priest of Discord lift.
Pod lift.
Now you notice these are both within relatively easy view of each other, right? You can see that one from here. There's a path. There's actually 3 lifts. So if you'll go ahead and follow me, you can see it on your map, so it's not as important nowadays. But if you point yourself directly in line with this thing and then face this direction, and we're just going to run. Now, there's a lot of straight line running in this game, and it sucks to have to hold down W. If you hit numlock on your keyboard, you can let go of your keyboard and your character will keep running. I feel like that's kind of dumb to say because a lot of modern games have that, but very, very useful mechanic for the massive distances we end up having to run at very slow speeds.
Is it numlock?
Numlock, yeah.
It's not.
Let's check
It might
your
be
key
default
bindings.
something else.
Let's check your key bindings. Go into your bindings, and it'll be movement and then auto run. Oh, and it's under keys. Movement, you're already there. Yeah, it's not bound. That's weird. So change that. You can change it to whatever you want, but numlock is the traditional default.
That
Just because
works.
if you auto run in the wrong place, you can kind of screw yourself over. Oh, thank you. So that's the best key for it. It does also toggle your numlock, so sometimes your numpad will stop working. You ran past it. So this is the This back here, this is called Orc Lift. These guards will help you if enemies are killing you. So this is the last bastion of safety. Is back here is the Orc Lift. Kind of behind the hill, hard to see. So this is called Orc Lift. If you're leveling in this area, which we're not, it's good to know this is called Orc Lift and how to locate it. But if you follow down this path, danger lies ahead. That's a Beast Lord Guildmaster. That's new.
New to me. I've never seen her there before.
Yeah, Wood Elves can be Beast Lords now. So you see all these enemies around. That Wasp, he's not going to kill you. That Orc, he is. So watch. I'm just going to walk by. Oh, he aggroed me. Okay, he's attacking me now. He's level 2. We're level 3. So I'm going to start killing him, and you can help me. And see how much more HP he has? Your spells are barely doing anything to him. So you are more than welcome to melee him if you want. It might help kill him a little bit faster. You don't have to by any means, and as long as you're spamming spells, that's going to be your best bet. Is every time. Oh, there's also spell recasts. If you haven't noticed, it takes a couple of seconds for you to be able to recast any spell, and the specific spell you cast sometimes have a longer delay. So you got to keep that in mind too. Most spells are not delayed, but some of them have a long cooldown.
Are you guys fighting in a particular area? Because I was just running around killing random stuff.
Oh, we
Past
weren't.
Orc
We're moving to Orc Hill. Okay, look over there.
I'm gonna
Those
go
are
real
orcs.
quick and meet you in Orc Hill.
Don't get too close to them because they will aggro you.